first postseason game here since 2010. Welcome to the ALDS presented by Doosan on FS1. It is game 3 between the Yankees and the Twins. Welcome inside. Joe Davis with the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. Ken Rosenthal joins us in a moment. Big story for the Yankees this season. All the injuries they worked through. They've gotten healthy as the year has gone on, at least healthier, and they have looked like a well-oiled machine through 2 games.
Well, their offense is clicking. They've scored in 6 innings, but 5 of those innings have been crooked numbers. They've done damage in those innings. And speaking of damage, in a lineup that is plenty of it, Didi Gregorius, the 8th hitter, has been a thorn in the Minnesota Twins side. They're going to have to do a better job of getting him out. 28 RBIs, that's including the postseason. When you think about this lineup, to your point, they can make it miserable on the opposing pitchers.
And along the lines of getting healthy, Luis Severino missed much of this season for the Yankees with a shoulder issue. He comes back for 3 outings in September, and he takes the ball tonight in game 3.
2 wild cards for me coming into this series. Stanton batting, Severino pitching. And when they get Severino going, that means they have a chance for a deep run to the World Series. He's only made 3 starts and he's only pitched 12 innings, but his stuff is electric. Look for his fastball to be upwards of 98, 99, and his slider off the table.
Twins came into this series saying that they didn't care about the history in terms of against the Yankees and in the postseason, but they've dropped now 15 consecutive postseason games and down to their last breath here in 2019. How do they change things tonight?
Well, they got away from what made them good offensively by putting the ball in play a little bit more. They've struck out way too much, and of course, they haven't struck out the other team as much. So you got to, as a pitching staff, stop the crooked numbers. Keep it to 1 run. Challenge the strike zone. You don't have to pitch perfectly, but you got to keep this crowd in it in an elimination game.
What a fun day of baseball this has been. What a great month this is. The first postseason game here in Minneapolis in 2010 about to begin. It is game 3 after the Yankees cruised in the Bronx with 18 runs over the first 2 games. The Twins hoping that the change of scenery can change their story and keep their season alive to force a game 4 tomorrow night. But first, it is game 3 on FS1 coming up after the break. It is a gorgeous night here in Minneapolis with the temperatures in the high 50s. They're calling for snow this weekend. Temperature dipping down into the low 30s, but it is perfect here for game 3. Joe Davis, John Smoltz, and on the field tonight, Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, after game 2, Jake Odorizzi lamented that the Twins pitchers were trying to be too fine. Reliever Sergio Romo agreed, saying, maybe we just didn't go for the throat. Well, Odorizzi has a chance to change all that tonight, to reverse a trend in which Twins pitchers have walked 16 batters in 16 innings. Surprising, considering that during the regular season, they had the lowest walk percentage in the American League. Pitching coach Wes Johnson concedes that the environment at Yankee Stadium was challenging, but he didn't think his pitchers were too timid. Rather, he simply believed they tried too hard to make the perfect pitch. Johnson told me, that isn't who we are. We don't nibble, we attack the strike zone, and that is the Twins' plan tonight.
Well, Ken, this is a game of inches, and it has been exactly that. A lot of close pitches, some that were called, some that weren't, but a lot of takes by the Yankee hitters. And when you can control the count and flip it into a hitter's count, that's where the Yankees are dangerous. And I tell you what, so far it's been a great 1 through 9 approach, and the Minnesota Twins, all they've got to do is be a little bit better early in the count, because they do have the kind of pitching that should be able to mix and match with their offense capabilities.
And it is Odorizzi here for game 3. A lot of people thought he would be game 1 or 2. They go with Randy Dobnak game 2. And another guy that's probably been their best starter throughout the season here for game 3.
He has. You're going to see a lot of fastballs, which in general is good for the Yankees, but his fastball has not been hit very hard. He has one of those late life fastballs. He'll throw his curveball, slider, cutter combination, and his secondary pitch that he goes to the most will be that split finger. But he is going to have to attack the zone with nobody on base. Be aggressive, get some strikes, even if they get up some hits. The one thing about pitching an elimination game is if you pitch perfect or try to, you more likely are in trouble. You have to be patient and give your team a chance early on. And I said it from the beginning of the series, I'll say it again. Solo home runs will not beat the Minnesota Twins.
Take a look at the lineup that he'll face off with tonight. We mentioned it off of the top, but the Yankees have gotten healthier as the season has gone on. Would you believe that this is the third consecutive game they've had this lineup? And it's only the second time this season they've been able to say that. The same lineup, 3 consecutive games. LeMahieu, Judge, and Gardner at the top. Encarnacion, Stanton, and Torres through the heart of the lineup with Sanchez, the twin killer Didi Gregorius out of the 8th spot, and Gio Urshela hitting 9th. Yankees took game 1 10-4 to game 2 8-2 behind the 7-run 3rd inning. The division champs for the first time since 2012 going for the sweep and a spot in the American League Championship Series.
LeMahieu picks his spots when he leads off the game on whether he's going to jump on that first pitch or not.
Odorizzi winds, and off we go with a fastball that just misses, ball 1.
With Odorizzi's fastball, he likes to live up and away to complement his cutter and slider. But if he can get low fastball strikes, that's going to help his splitter that he'll throw a lot tonight as well.
Back-to-back fastballs, 1 ball, 1 strike. He's faced the Yankees twice this season. One really good start, and one that was probably his worst start of the year. Early May, 6 shutout innings at Yankee Stadium. And then in late July gave up 9 runs in 4 innings against New York. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Those are the kind of fastballs that he gets a lot of foul balls on. Look at the height of that fastball. And you'll also watch that from the glove side of his pitching is where he likes to stay. So away from right-handers. Any pitch he can throw into right-handers will help him out, even though he doesn't do it very often.
Here's 1-2. Got it. Up with a fastball for the first out of the 9th.
So the key's going to be strikes early and then balls outside the zone late. The Twins have not been able to put away the Yankee hitters when they get to 2 strikes. There's been a lot of deep counts.
And they've not been able to put away this next guy really, period. Aaron Judge has reached in 7 of his 10 plate appearances in this series. On the first one from Odorizzi, Judge pops it up. And in right field, Rosario. 2 up, 2 down. Rosario's part of this defense for the Twins. Cave, Kepler, and Rosario, the outfield. On the infield, left side, it is Sano and Polanco. The rookie arrives at second, had his issues in game 1 defensively. Marwin Gonzalez at first, and Mitch Garver doing the catching. And they've actually called catcher's interference on Mitch Garver. And so instead of a pop out to right, Judge gets first.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because the Minnesota Twins have not had many 1 or 2 pitch outs, and you can just barely, I mean barely, see him clip the catcher's glove, and he will be awarded first base.
You said off at the top, we use the cliche game of inches, and there you go.
Absolutely.
So 1 out base runner for the Yankees, and here's Brett Gardner. 36-year-old, longest tenured Yankee. Hacks at the first pitch. It's strike 1. Listen in to Gary Cederstrom on this last play.
That's interference.
Well, Judge knew it right away, and he pointed back.
Veteran crew chief. So Judge aboard. 0-1 on Gardner. Quickly 0-2.
I like the fact that he's attacking early with fastballs. On the year, he's only thrown 45% strikes with his curveball / slider. That's the lowest in the league. So he's a fastball pitcher and feels comfortable at the top of the zone. I would like to see him throw a few more curveballs than he does on average, just to give the hitters a change of eyesight and change of speed.
On an 0-2 to Gardner. He does go to 1 in the dirt, gets to the backstop, and Judge moves into scoring position. Backstop here at Target Field closer than it is in most ballparks, and Got that brick. The Yankees during the off day yesterday came here, worked out, and put in some extra work seeing how balls caromed off of it.
I would have been great early in my career at that play right there. Well, leading the league in wild pitches. But that would have helped coming back faster. He spiked a split right there. That was the wild pitch. It was a split finger fastball.
Which he loves to go to at 2 strikes. League hitting about 100 against him in that situation. Back to the fastball here, and it's 2-2.
So the hard part collectively been in enough series where the pitcher wears the weight of the first 2 games, right? Oh, I can't let him score. I can't let him score. I got to pitch perfect. You really don't, because you've got to trust that your offense is going to get on gear. You just got to avoid the big inning. Even if they score a run in this inning, that's fine. Just 1 run.
2-2. Fouled off. Yeah, the 7-run 3rd inning in game 2. Yankees had a couple 3-run innings in game 1. And the Twins have their 4 runs total in this series on 4 single-run innings.
And that's a great formula for success if you're the Yankees. And again, early on, he's been aggressive fastball, and we've seen a split. We haven't seen a curveball, a cutter. Gardner struggles against curveballs. He hit 167 on the season against a curveball from a right-handed pitcher.
Judge's second one gone. Odorizzi to Gardner with a 2-2. Gardner fouls it off. Will do it again. Well, for coverage of this game in Spanish, tune into Fox Deportes. Game 3 with the Yankees leading 2-0. A 100-win team has never been swept in the division series. The Twins, as champions of the Central this season, won 101. Odorizzi home with another 2-2. He laid off, and the count goes full.
Wow, now that was a great split finger. Live, that looked like he went. This bottom drops out of this split right here. That's the kind of split he has. And he might have done a good job of holding the barrel, but he did go through. At live, it looked like he went. Game of inches.
Again, cliches become cliches for a reason. Showing us in this first inning. And Gardner doing what he's done much of his career, being a tough out. Judge at second, 1 gone, a 3-2 and a bouncing ball foul. Next pitch will be the 9th. Gardner throughout his career wasn't known for a ton of power. This season he's hit a career high 28 home runs, cutting it loose a little bit more. This is kind of a throwback at bat for him, spoiling some pitches, checking his swing on a tough pitch, and making Odorizzi work.
He has, and again, maybe later in the game you'll see a few more curveballs against him. He has struggled against curveballs. With 2 strikes, he has struggled, but battles.
On the 9th pitch, Gardner swings and misses. 2 out.
Three-two splitter. After he spiked it, they've been good since. You get a feel for that pitch. You throw it like a fastball, it comes out and tumbles away from a left-hander. It's very difficult for left-handed hitters to pick up the rotation on that pitch, especially when you're trying to fight off a fastball. He will throw it to right-handers as well,
which you'll see 7 of in this Yankees lineup, including Edwin Encarnacion, who bats with a man at second and 2 gone. And it takes the first one low. Encarnacion acquired by the Yankees in early June, and at the time it seemed a little bit redundant. It's not like they were lacking power hitters from the right side, but it has gone from being a good depth move to him being a guy that Aaron Boone thinks is the key to this lineup.
Yeah, he's been locked in with runners in scoring position. Really hauled second half for the Yankees.
1-1.
Leading all of baseball with runners in scoring position with the highest OPS. Not much of a high ball hitter, but he'll definitely smoke the low pitch And you'll see a heavy dosage probably of some sliders and cutters off the plate against Edwin.
Odorizzi to Encarnacion with a 1-1. That's high ball 2. Encarnacion has hit as many home runs as anybody over the last decade, and he's been as good as anybody in this ballpark. 17 home runs at Target Field, which is tied with Sal Perez for the most by any visiting player. Giancarlo Stanton waits on deck. Judge at second, 2 gone. Here comes Odorizzi's 2-1.
No.
Check swing, no swing.
Wow, wow, wow. 2 close ones right away in the first inning. They look a little more violent live. I'm going to see this angle. Very close. Much closer than Gardner's.
So Encarnacion sitting pretty now with a 3-1 count. Stanton due next. No score first inning. Odorizzi back home. That is lifted off the end of the bat to left. Routine for Jake Cave, and a scoreless first inning for Jake Odorizzi. The Twins come to bat for the first time after this. Season as the manager has led them to 101 wins and a division title, and they hope that their season can stay alive at least one more night. Here's the lineup for Game 3. Kepler, Polanco, and Cruz, and Rosario, Garver, and Arise. Sano, Gonzalez, and Cave for the Twins. Down 2 games to none and facing Luis Severino.
Severino has an electric arm. Don't know how long he'll be able to go tonight, but him coming back gives the Yankees a lot more weapons they can use. And look for him to use his changeup against left-handers, sliders, and against anybody, and that electric fastball. Max Kepler loves fastballs. He also loves the very first pitch.
Takes ball 1. We talked about it off of the top. Severino just 12 innings pitched this season. Shoulder started bugging him during spring training, and while he was rehabbing back from that, injured his lat. Returned just a few weeks ago, quickly behind 2-0. He was very good in his first 2 games back. His last outing, which was 9 days ago in Texas, he walked 4.
Yeah, and that's going to come because he hasn't had as many innings and as many times to get out there to feel comfortable about all his pitches.
Outside.
And so fastball command has always been something I thought is really good. And if he's got fastball command low, that slider changeup is so deadly for hitters because it's coming out of the same slot.
His 3-0 pitch is a strike, 3-1. He's also trying to change his postseason reputation. Game 3 of the division series last year gave up 6 runs and 3+. The wild card game against these Twins in 2017, he recorded just 1 out. He walks the leadoff man here in Game 3.
Postseason, you see the numbers. He's had that one game that kind of inflates it, but he's learned a little bit since then. Being a young pitcher, thrust in a huge game, a wild card game. In the beginning of the year, this rotation looked like it was going to be absolutely outstanding, but his injury, along with a couple other injuries, and now no Herman, it leaves the Yankees a little bit vulnerable in this department. Of course, their bullpen makes up for it.
So the leadoff man aboard for the Twins, and here's Jorge Polanco. Started at shortstop for the American League in the All-Star game. It's been a really good season for him. Homered in Game 1 of this series. Generous outside corner, strike 1.
Polanco's not going to miss many pitches inside part of the plate. He doesn't miss. Matter of fact, on the year, it's the 4th best at making contact on the inside part of the plate.
Severino's 0-1. Polanco fouls it off 0-2. Went to the inside part of the plate with a breaking ball against the 26-year-old shortstop in his third year as the everyday shortstop for the Twins. He had a great finish to 2017, helping him to that wild card game. But then last year, the 80-game PED suspension. And so this has been a revival for him in 2019. On an 0-2. He got the same pitch, took it this time. Ball one. Nelson Cruz and his 41 home runs waiting on deck.
Well, this crowd came here hoping they could see the lead early and keep them in the game and engaged. This offense has not been clicking because I mentioned that they've been swinging and missing at an alarming rate that they didn't do during the year. Now, credit the game plan of what the New York Yankees have put together, but also a little bit of anxious hitters. Expanding the strikeouts, 27.
A 1-2. Able to get his bat on that. Fouls the changeup off. Will do it again. And this is a team that is one of the best in baseball at avoiding strikeouts during the regular season.
Absolutely. That's why I really thought this series could go 4 or 5 based on their offense putting more pressure on the Yankees pitchers, but it's been the opposite. The Yankees have not struck out as much, and I still maintain in a short series, putting the ball in play a little bit more often usually comes out on top.
A 1-2 again is very high with a fastball, which they've not seen very many of. Of course, that's what Masahiro Tanaka does, but very clearly for the Yankees, the game plan in this series has been off-speed pitches. Don't give him any fastballs in the zone.
Absolutely. These are two best offenses in baseball against the fastball.
Less than 40% of the pitches they've seen have been fastballs. Major league average on the season about 50%. A close play over here.
He's safe.
Kepler at first with the leadoff walk. Severino home 2-2. Polanco gets his bat on a changeup. Floated to left for Stanton. He's got it.
I mean, this thought just occurred, and it may not be relevant, but is it too much of a copycat to have the managers throw out a red flag to challenge?
You could borrow one of the red Homer hankies in this series. I like it. I think we could also adopt the idea of the referee or the umpire having a microphone to tell us about the call. That's neither here nor there. Here's Cruz. 41 home runs here in his first season in Minnesota. And he's turned into the leader for this club.
Now, surprisingly, he's had success against Severino. When I say surprisingly, because Severino's slider should neutralize Nelson Cruz.
Started him with a changeup.
But there's been some great at-bats, and Nelson has been able to fight off some of the pitches, but take advantage of when it isn't perfectly executed, because he swings and misses a lot on breaking balls off the plate, down and away.
On an 0-1, Cruz watches ball one.
So if you think about seeing that box in your view, if the pitcher starts that breaking ball anywhere in the middle of that box and breaks it to the outside corner, Cruz is going to go after it. Now, if you leave it in that box, you're not going to get that ball back.
Yeah.
The fans are going to have it.
41 regular season home runs, a home run in game 1 of the division series. Talked about 38-year-old Rocco Baldelli, youngest manager in baseball. He's a year younger than his designated hitter Nelson Cruz. 39-year-old hits one off the end of the bat. Should be two. To the bag goes Torres, across his body, double play. Helping Luis Severino pitch around the leadoff walk. Yes, on FS1 is sponsored by Taco Bell. By T-Mobile, their newest, most powerful signal is here. And by Hankook Tire, chase down your passion, never halfway. A leadoff walk against Luis Severino in that first inning, but he uses the double play ball to face the minimum. And we go to the second. Giancarlo Stanton leads it off against Jake Odorizzi.
Oh, good matchup here of fastballs. Early on the year so far, Stanton has not hit the four-seam fastball, but as a rule, when he has a count in his favor, he is crushing the opposing pitchers when he has the count in his favor.
Took a healthy cut there with a count in his favor. It's now 1-1.
Sometimes the way that he kind of closes his stance off looks like his feet are on roller skates at times. They're moving a lot. We all know what he can do when he connects on a fat pitch. I mean, he makes it exit velocity look like it's nothing. The fastballs have been beaten him early on in his injury-plagued season.
He's only played 18 games this year. 9 games down the stretch to get ready for the postseason. On a 1-2, he has a half-hearted swing and a miss, one gone. Jake Odorizzi continuing to lean on that fastball, which you talked about him throwing up in the zone as much as anybody in baseball.
The way he lets go of the baseball and how he's behind it, this is what you're going to see as a hitter. You're going to see a fastball that kind of looks like it rises, even though it physically can't. It gives the illusion, and then you're going to see a split finger coming out of the same slot and then dipping down below the zone if he throws it properly. That variance and that ability to throw those two pitches, if done correctly, will give the Yankees some fits.
His first one to Gleyber Torres is lifted to left, sending Cave back to the warning track at the wall. He leaps. It's gone. Gleyber Torres with a solo shot to start the scoring. 38 during the regular season to lead the Yankees. His first of October comes here in the second.
Well, this guy has such a great approach. Even though he swings and misses a lot on the first pitches, he's up there to do that kind of damage. It's a controlled aggression swing. He catches this slider out in front and absolutely crushes it for that solo home run. And again, to Jake Odorizzi, I know you don't want to give up any runs, but that's the way you got to do it. He's going to check right there to see if that was fan interference, reaching over the railing.
They are going to take a look at it. And for it to be fan interference, he would have to reach over the railing, break that plane. But it's not just that railing, it is.
Yeah, it's got to be
the green fence.
What they're basically saying is, or hoping that they can say, is that he would have had a chance to possibly catch that, even though it was over the fence. And that's rarely overturned because they're going to look at the angle of where that ball would have hit and how high he jumped. So obviously this one I would think is not going to get overturned, but it's worth a look for sure. And
there is some separation between that green padding and the wall that the fan appeared to reach over, and very quickly Gary Cederstrom confirms the call of a home run. And so it looked like he may have leaned out over the fence. There is a gap between the two fences.
It was a great effort. But as we saw the replay of the pitch, it just spun over the middle of the plate, and that is not a good recipe for fly balls to stay in the park.
That replay review is powered by Mitel. Now Gary Sanchez with the Yankees on the board first here in game 3. That's ball 1. You know, and the Yankees, one of the greatest home run hitting teams in baseball history, just one home run behind the Twins this season, 306 during the regular year. That is only their 4th home run in these 3 games. gotten it done in other ways. All the walks and with runners in scoring position.
They've done a great job at battling. There's 3 at bats that stick out in my mind. They got to 2 strikes relatively quickly, battled the 3-2, either walked or put into play a rocket and a big RBI. They put pressure on the defense of the Minnesota Twins so far, and it's been, you know, a classic New York style of hitting minus a ton of home runs.
Nope. Because they did lead baseball with runners in scoring position during the regular season too.
They have the ability to command the batter's box, and it's no reason why in one of those little rants that Aaron Boone had with an umpire one time, he said, "My hitters are savages." And he believes it, and they have proven it.
2-2 on Sanchez. Gary Sanchez looking for his first hit of this postseason. 0 for 5 with a couple walks. Dealing with a groin injury down the stretch. Gregorius on deck in a 1-0 game here in the second of game 3.
Even though he struggled with 2 strikes, Gary Sanchez has hit 15 home runs with 2 strikes. Low batting average.
2-2. Sky high behind third. Sano and Polanco. It's Polanco.
Well, here comes that man.
Wow.
Who has really crushed the Minnesota Twins the last couple of years.
And a grand slam to break the game open on Saturday night. He has, and I've double checked this and so have you, 28 RBIs in his last 12 games against Minnesota.
Yeah, he was struggling coming into this series. He hasn't been his normal self at the plate, but you could tell he may be unlocking a few things, unfortunately, at the Twins' expense.
Kudmayoff first pitch splitter, strike 1. 465, 6 home runs, and 28 driven in over the last 2 years against Minnesota. That included that crazy 2-game stretch here in July.
He had 8 in one game, didn't he?
Yeah, 14-12 win.
Well, when Didi's right, he handles the fastball inner third of the plate, and he's looking to pull. All of his power comes from the pull side. That's why they've got the shift on him, and just a token Sano standing there in case he hits one off the end of the bat. But he hasn't been. His bat is just a tick slow, it looks like, off of the fastballs.
1-2. Two and two.
When you throw that split finger fastball, you got to be able to stay back just like you would on a fastball. There's similar philosophy of throwing that pitch. You just let the grip take the speed off and make the movement. It's one of the best pitches in the world against left-handers when you can execute it.
Home with a 2-2 to Gregorius. He does. It's hit on the ground softly to short. Polanco throws him out and ends the inning. But a home run from Gleyber Torres opens the scoring after 38 in the regular season. The All-Star hits his first of the postseason. Back after a word from our local sponsors. With his second, and Eddie Rosario takes ball 1 from Luis Severino.
Rosario, one of those free swingers, loves to swing the bat, especially in fastballs up. So far, Severino's changeup looks like his best pitch right now. Going into that pitch, he had thrown all strikes. That was the first ball.
Perfect with that fastball. On this 1-1, he goes backdoor and gets ahead 1-2.
Such an underrated pitch. When you've got a slider like Severino does, the tendency is to work it off the one side of the plate, and that would be down and in and down and away from a righty, down and into a lefty. But throwing that back door, great pitch.
Goes up for the fastball. Tomahawks a high drive to right. That is off the wall. Rosario with a leadoff double. That thing was like neck high.
He loves the high fastball, and he loves to swing at it. I mean, you're going to sit there, and as a pitcher, you're going to be in awe. You think, well, I threw the pitch I wanted, and he gets on top of it. We've got a lot of data on a lot of different players, and sometimes a player gets the best of a better pitch. I mean, that is as high of a pitch you'll see a guy almost hit a ball out of the park. But that's what comes with that comes a lot of swings and misses and strikeouts, and then you'll see the occasional. I mean, that is, if you think you got to swing up to hit a high fastball, that'll show you why you don't.
That is awesome. That's why they love Eddie Rosario. Lightning rod Rosario. You live with some of the bad things because he can do that. Here's Garver. Ball one.
Garver needs to get going just a little bit. He's such a good fastball hitter, and he'll hit the ball away the other way with power as well. 2 for 9. That's okay, but looking to get a fastball that he can absolutely do damage with.
He did plenty of during the regular season. 31 home runs in 93 games, and ahead here 2-0. He's one of the 530 home run hitters on this Twins roster. And the rate that he collected is one of the best rates in baseball history. There's 93 games. I mean, he pretty much shared the position with Castro and was still able to hit those 31 homers. On a 2-0. He watches a strike. 2-1.
It's a great changeup right there. I mean, you got to sit in an area when you have the count in your favor as a hitter, and if you see fastball, you let it go. But changeup 2-0. The Yankees just, as a team, are refusing to throw a lot of fastballs to this Minnesota Twins lineup.
Runner at second, nobody out. 2-1. Garver takes a fastball high. 3-1.
Two things that changed in the game today. Typically in these situations, if you think about right field, right center, you'll stay back on breaking balls, you'll get the runner over. But everyone's still thinking about launching the ball. So with the runner on second, they're not thinking at all about getting them over. They're thinking about a 2-run homer. So if that's the case, this 3-1 pitch only has one location you're willing to swing the bat on.
That's a walk, and the first two reach for the Twins in the second. Let's go to Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, good sign so far for the Twins here. Rosario with the double, Garver with the walk. You mentioned the 530 home run hitters. Well, so far, not so good. The Bomba squad has been diffused. Entering tonight just 6 for 38 with 17 strikeouts. CJ Cron, after game 2, said the hitters in general have been too timid. Maybe we'll see it differently tonight.
Kenny, the Twins during the regular season were the most aggressive team on pitches in the strike zone in baseball. But the rate that they've swung at pitches in the zone against the Yankees would have been dead last in baseball this season. Arise takes ball one.
Arise is a unique hitter. He won't swing at a ball up above the zone, but up in the zone, he absolutely loves it. He only has 6 strikeouts with runners in scoring position on the year, so you can bet your bottom dollar more than likely he's going to put this in play and do some maybe running of the bases for the Twins.
22-year-old rookie bangs it foul, and it's 1-1. Arise is questionable coming into the series with an ankle injury that he suffered on the second to last day of the regular season. It activated him. 3 doubles in 2 games. Native of Venezuela, who has exceeded expectations every step of the way in his climb to the major leagues, debuting in May this year. 2 runners on. He shoots a base hit to left field. Station to station as Stanton picks it up quickly, and the Twins have loaded the bases in the second with nobody out.
Well, it's a perfect timing. A ball up, then he gets it the other way. This guy's definitely not trying to do too much. Ball up in the strike zone, handles it, and this is what he's done all year. It's what makes him special. And now the Twins have a chance to do something special with Sano at the plate. If Sano can eliminate the low pitch, even though he's a good low ball fastball hitter, he has been swinging a lot at sliders off the plate. I would be shocked if Severino doesn't fill most of this at bat with sliders.
8 at-bats, 6 strikeouts in this series for Miguel Sano. He's got the bases loaded with his team down 1-0, second inning. Down 2 games to none in this best of 5.
I know it's easier said than done. You tell yourself, you go up to the plate, you look for a fastball. Hitters don't want to come off fastballs. But if you see anything spinning on the first pitch, you got to tell yourself, don't swing. Make them throw it for a strike. But again, easier said than done. Bases loaded, you're down 2-0. You want to make something happen for your team.
Ball. 1 ball, no strikes.
Twins have not had a crooked number on the scoreboard yet in this series.
Saw spin, took it for a strike.
Had 4 solo run innings. This crowd will get absolutely bonkers if Sano's able to find the gap or drive in a couple.
Rosario started the inning with a double. Garver walked. Arise singled. And the Twins offense, though, is just a tick behind the Yankees in terms of runs this season. Only managing 6 over the first 2 games of the series. Looking for some here in the second.
No.
That's a fastball that he lays off 2-1.
I guess we're going to have a check swing marathon tonight.
Bunch of them early, huh?
See who's actually going to get the first call on the check swing. This is a really good fastball that I was pretty much thinking a slider was coming. Now Severino can get out of this inning without much damage because you've got 2 guys that he's been able to handle with strikeouts if he executes the pitches.
Veteran Gonzalez on deck. On a 2-1, Sano swings through a fastball, and it's 2-2. What a classic power against power matchup here with Luis Severino and Miguel Sano.
Now he's got Sano totally confused on what he's going to do. He's mixed in more fastballs than I thought we'd see with the bases loaded, and Sano has missed them.
Slider.
He's got me confused. That's a great job by Severino, because you're thinking about certain trends that you see and you watch the videos and you see the matchups, but he's kind of gone a little bit against the grain here, and maybe the bases loaded have something to do with it.
Here comes his 2-2.
Ooh, man.
Hanger, huh? Got away with it.
Now you got 2 school of thoughts here as a pitcher. You know you just threw a bad one. You feel like you can throw a better one off that, then throw it. If it got any doubt at all, you got to go back to the fastball. It was always the #1 rule for most pitchers. If you threw a slider that you got away with that you knew was bad, you absolutely will make the adjustment on this next pitch.
Bases loaded, second inning, another 2-2 pitch. Sano lifts it foul, went back to the fastball at 99. It has all come together this year for Miguel Sano. All-Star in 2017. A nightmare of a season last year where he was sent back to the minors. He hit 199, managed just 13 home runs all season. He reshaped his body in the winter. It's totally changed his work ethic.
Now Severino hasn't gotten 1 pitch off the plate on the outside part. Not 1. Can he get it there?
Another 2-2. What a take from Sano to run the count full.
And he got it there. That was a great pitch. Now we've showed early in the game a rip of pitches that the Minnesota Twins pitchers were not able to get, and a lot of good takes that the Yankees were able to make. And there's one right there. 3-2 pitch right here has not gone the Twins way so far. They got to win the 3-2 battle. Not expand the zone. Be disciplined as much as possible.
Lost that battle clearly in the 2 games in the Bronx. On a payoff pitch, Miguel Sano swings away, pops it sky high in the infield. And And it will be DJ LeMahieu with the infield fly rule in effect for out number 1. The Sano makes him work, but Severino ultimately wins the battle. And up comes Marwin Gonzalez.
This was an outstanding job by Severino. Pitch by pitch, he attacks him early. He gets the ball. He comes back in with a breaking ball and gets the call. I'll tell you, when you go every other pitch here and you confuse the hitter and he misses the fastball, here's the pitch of the night that could have gone the way coming up right here for the Minnesota Twins. But Severino came right back with a good fastball and got him to pop up.
Still not out of the woods. Bases still loaded. With one gone, one of the most experienced postseason players on this roster, Marwin Gonzalez, takes ball 1. 4th postseason trip over the last 5 years. In his first season here in Minnesota, previously with the Houston Astros. And he wasn't just along for the ride. Some big moments for him. The game-tying home run against Kenley Jansen, Game 2 of the World Series in 2017. He's driven in 9 in his last 8 postseason games. On this 1-0, he hits it foul, and it's 1-1.
That was the pitch right there he would like to have back. There's 2 sliders in these last 2 at-bats that Minnesota Twins normally do some damage. This one's middle, and he just overswings it and fouls it off. The bases loaded should be the ultimate pressure on the pitchers. But you've seen situations, if the hitting is not situational, you can get out of a jam. Because now he's just a ground ball away, double play from getting out of here without giving up any runs. But it should be the highest pressure situation of making pitches for a pitcher, especially in the postseason.
Twins need it badly. Down 1-0. Gonzalez swings and misses at a sharp breaking pitch, 1-2. Home runs haven't been there at the rate that they were during the regular season for Minnesota, and they've struggled with runners in scoring position, 2 for 17 in this series.
That's his kryptonite, as most left-handers would tell you, that they like the ball down and in, but they don't like the ball a little bit below down and in.
The 1-2. He struck him out with the same pitch. First of the game for Severino is a big one, and now he's right on the doorstep of getting out of this second inning jam.
Can't execute any better than that. I mean, you could put a hat right on top of those 2 baseballs and where he threw them. And they started in the zone and broke out of the zone. And for a guy who's trying his best to make contact, can't stay back long enough. And this is really now up to Mr. Cave to try to come up with a huge 2-out hit, because bases loaded, nobody out. And this crowd has been standing,
looking for something to explode over. So the 9-hitter Cave takes ball 1. Jake Cave back and forth between the majors and the minors this season. It's become more and more important with some of the injuries they've dealt with, notably Byron Buxton. 26 years old in his second year with Major League time. One of his biggest at-bats ever. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hardest thing to do is stay back and let the pitch get deep, because most people are trying to get the ball in the air and pull it. And if you're trying to pull it and you're thinking it's a fastball, you're going to swing over the top of a breaking ball. The only way the breaking ball becomes bad is if it's fat over the middle of the plate to the left-hander here.
Sticks with a fastball to the corner, 1-2. Luis Severino trying to bully his way out of this jam. A double, a walk, and a single to load the bases before he had the first out. The 1-2 to Cave. Punch behind third, and we'll do it again. 28 pitches this inning for Luis Severino. Aaron Boone said he could see him going anywhere 75, 95 pitches.
Yeah, well, he's made about 8 of the best pitches you can make under the circumstances, and that's all that Aaron Boone would like to see him make his 9th one right here.
Got just some ridiculous looking sliders from him. Here in just his 4th game in the majors in 2019. High with a fastball, and it's 2-2. Top of the order after Cave. Critical spot early in this game. Bases loaded, 2 gone, and a 2-2 pitch. He struck him out, landed another slider. And Luis Severino with a magic act to get out of the 2nd unscathed. Gio Urshela leads off the 3rd for the Yankees and takes ball 1 from Jake Odorizzi.
It's a huge inning for Jake because unfortunately his team didn't score, so that feels like the Yankees actually scored in an inning when they didn't give anything up. You got to put a 0 down and slow the momentum down. That the Yankees just felt that they escaped a big inning right there.
What have you thought of the way Odorizzi's attacked so far?
Very nice. I mean, fastballs getting on the hitters. You know, you got the information, but watch the hitters and how they're reacting to your fastball, and that'll tell you what you need to know about a particular at bat or how the game's going, because you don't need a radar gun to see if they're on your fastball or not.
And the interesting thing with Odorizzi is that the radar gun really doesn't tell the story of his fastball. 92, 93, but a lot of times it looks like it's way harder than that when you do judge it by the swings.
Yeah, he's got a simple delivery, and his angle at which he lets the baseball go gives him a little bit of an advantage on the way that the height of the fastball plays to the hitter's eyes.
So his pitching coach Wes Johnson in his first year here. The 1-2. And he got a piece of it to stay alive.
The key to pitching in postseason, I don't care who you are, is you've got to be able to have confidence in any situation to be able to throw more than one pitch where you want to. If you're struggling to get your secondary pitches over, which the Twins have really struggled in this series, it's going to show up on the other team's offense.
That ball's driven to left center field. Cave comes on, takes a gamble, and it gets by him to the warning track. Picked up by Kepler. Urshela holds it second with a leadoff double.
Cave was losing his footing and was committed to a dive way too early. This ball ends up having a lot of topspin, and as it goes down, it's too late. And you got to rely on your center fielder to be able to get you back and keep it as a double and not get to a triple. Committed way too early. It was going to be a hit, ended up being a double.
And wound up not even being close on that dive attempt. So a runner in scoring position for the top of the order and the best hitter in baseball in these situations in DJ LeMahieu. LeMahieu hitting .389 with runners in scoring position. Helping him out of the leadoff spot, driving 102.
And what makes him so tough when you're trying to defend him, whether it's infield or the pitcher, is he against right-handed pitchers, he doesn't pull that many pitches. He just only puts in, he only pulls about 19% off a right-hander. So think about that. He's staying back, trying to go the other way, which helps his approach with runners in scoring position. It's the lowest in baseball of right-handed hitters. And so when you're trying to defend a guy like that, you cannot, you really can't. So that's why he's one of the best in the business with runners in scoring position and men on base in general.
He's a guy that's won a batting title, finished second in the batting race this season. But he says the most special thing to him, if you're looking at an individual stat, is that 100 RBI total. He had always looked at guys that drove in 100. Guy said, a little bit envious of those guys because he looks at that as a reflection of really helping his team. And so the fact that he was able to do that this season, in addition to all the other great statistics that he put up, really meant a lot to him personally.
A little easier to do in the American League in the top of the order than it is the National League.
And with this lineup,
now
ahead 3-1. I guess it helped him that the bottom of the Yankees lineup was one of the best bottoms of any lineups we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Urshela leads at second as Odorizzi fires a 3-1. 3-2.
And by having the approach he does, his approach more than likely is going to get the runner over to third and pass the baton on to the next guy. He's not looking just to grip it and rip it. You know, if he were to throw a curveball here, that would probably be the only pitch he would pull and hit on the ground. But anything else, he stays up the middle. He stays and lets the ball get deep. That's trust in your hands and your mechanics.
On a 3-2, LeMahieu hits a ground ball to short. Urshela will still advance to third as Polanco throws him out. Aaron Judge comes up, and we take a look at our player resume brought to you by Indeed.com. What a postseason it's been so far for Judge. It's easy to forget because of everything he's done, with his first couple games of this series and what he did in the postseason last year. But as a rookie, he struck out 27 times in the postseason, which was an American League record.
Yeah, he adjusted, and you wonder how a guy rebounds from something like that. What's not showed up in that is also his defensive plays he's made already in this series, saving some runs. And what an asset he is in right field. Tremendous arm, covers a lot of ground.
Reached on catcher's interference his first time tonight.
How do you think the infielders feel being drawn in with Judge at the plate?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have some quick reflexes. I mean, they call third base the hot corner for a reason, but when you're drawn in, of course, that makes a better hitter at the plate average wise, because harder to defend. You rely on your pitcher giving the defense soft contact to handle.
6'7", 270 pounder. Nice pitch, 1-1.
Split finger fastball. If you think this is going to be a fastball, you go to attack it, and then it dives in away from the barrel of the bat.
Categorizes a changeup a lot of times, and Aaron Judge, if there is a weakness, he swings and misses at the change as much as anybody in baseball. So he doubles up on it, but Judge takes this one.
Yeah, between the changeup and the slider, it's really the only chance right-handers have. And you know what? You got to have to execute that pitch multiple times in one at bat.
Well, the problem lately, and especially in this series, is that he's just not chasing unless it's a really, really good slider or changeup. Check swing along first. It's fouled, and it's 2-2.
Tell you what, Urshela, by the way, is getting great reads on the base pass.
Head back to third. Time for the Budweiser game summary here in a 1-0 game on a home run from Gleyber Torres in the second inning. First pitch that he saw from Jake Odorizzi. Twins loaded the bases against Luis Severino in the bottom of the second, but could not score. This is game 3 of the American League Division Series with the Yankees in front 2-0 in a best-of-5.
It would be gutsy, but you could throw a high fastball right here to Judge, thinking that his off speed's coming.
Instead, cut it away, and the count goes full. Not even a flinch from Big 99.
No, that ball is absolutely thrown perfectly, just a little bit off the plate. But the intent of that pitch is to get a swing and a miss, not a called strike.
on a 3-2. Judge takes strike 3 with a tailing fastball, 2 gone.
Off speed, off speed, off speed, and then he snuck a fastball in a perfect spot. Trying to get it away, but the ball tails in the inside part of the plate and freezes Judge. You slow hitters down with those off-speed pitches, and that one looks like 100, but it was low in a perfect spot where Judge is trying to lay off.
You talked about this being a big inning. It became even bigger after the leadoff double, and he's got a chance here to get out of it with no damage. After the Twins were unable to take advantage of their opportunity in the bottom of the second. Urshela at third with 2 gone for Brett Gardner.
Nope.
We talked about LeMahieu and his ability to not pull the ball off right-handers. Gardner's the opposite. Loves to pull. And he's looking for pull side power. And anything usually that's off speed, he'll hit on the ground to that pull side defense.
The 1-0. Boy, Rizzi is really locating his fastball, about 80% for strikes so far tonight.
Yeah, what's amazing is he's so good against left-handers on the fastball away, but he has yet to show the fastball into right-handers. He's much more confident against right-handers away to complement those other pitches that he has to get hitters out.
Nope.
Splitter for a ball, and it's 2-1. It's interesting because it is technically the same pitch.
Yes.
Right?
Your eyes and sometimes where you feel comfortable. And, you know, in the course of my career, I'd say over 21 years, I was probably one of the worst fastball in. I didn't throw fastballs in that well to right-handers because my ball cut. Well, his kind of rises, and so maybe that's the same reason for him when right-handers are up there.
Here's 2-1. 2-2 on Brett Gardner.
The left-hander, you see all that space and there's nothing to worry about, so getting a ball to rise away from a left-hander probably feels more comfortable than it does to throw into a right-hander.
Struck Gardner out with a splitter his first time. Urshela at third, 2 gone, and a 2-2. Fastball punched by Sano. And the Yankees lead 2-0 as Gardner does go the other way to bring home Urshela.
That was a total fight off the fastball, get rewarded. That's an excellent job. Ball up. You can see that was not by accident. Anything down and closer to him, he's looking to pull up. He'll fight off and go the other way. And the very athletic Sano, even if he came up with that ball, I don't think anything could have come of it. So what the Twins were not able to do with the bases loaded, with 2 outs, the Yankees add on.
And he kept alive for Edwin Encarnacion. Goes after the first pitch, got it off the end of the barrel. And in center field, Max Kepler ends the inning. But the Yankees again get it done with runners in scoring position. Gardner drives home Urshela, and it's 2-0 New York. Torres home run, and then a run in the third with Brett Gardner. 2 outs and 2 strikes, bringing home Gio Urshela. Top of the order for the Twins. Ball 1 on Max Kepler.
Well, the Twins know that they've got 3 innings to do something, and what I mean by that is once it is the 5th or 6th, Aaron Boone has the luxury of going to his bullpen, so you have to play a shorter game if you're the Twins. So that means a little more pressure on you to get some runs early and get this crowd going again. Coming off an inning where they had the bases loaded, nobody out. Aaron Boone, with the game is close or with the lead, is not afraid to go to his pen and use the rest of the game with it.
Severino to Kepler with a 1-1. That's high ball 2. Walked his first time. It's a guy who played in just 2 games over the final 3 weeks of the regular season because of a sore shoulder or scap near his shoulder, and yet to get it going in the postseason. 0 for 6 with a couple walks, but ahead here 3-1.
Well, you got to sit in the middle third right here and do what he does best and hit the ball in the air if you like this 3-1 pitch.
Here it comes. 3-2.
He let it go, but it was the upper part of the zone away, perfectly placed by Severino.
The payoff pitch. Another fastball and a pop-up left side of the infield for Gio Urshela. So Severino comes back from the 3-1 count to get Kepler. And well, it has been primarily off-speed pitches over the first 2 games of this series. Pretty even in terms of fastball and then off-speed pitches tonight for Severino.
Yeah, you would think so for the guy that throws 98, 99 at times.
Yeah.
He's got gears. He'll start his fastball around 94, 95, but then he can rush it up there. And he looks like he's been in control with his emotions and mechanics for the most part. He's missed wide with his fastball against left-handers, but clutch when he needed it.
Strike 1 on Jorge Polanco.
And that is just the ability that he possesses. If he was pitching all year, obviously we might see a little different arsenal, but he's trying to catch up for what he's lost in the year, building himself ready for this moment because he hasn't had many innings coming into this postseason.
Just 12. Blows that one by Polanco, and it's 0-2. I know you pitchers, right? If somebody's to say to you, look, the Twins crush fastballs, somebody like Luis Severino is going to say, not my fastball.
Yeah, if it's, any good fastball in the right spot is going to be an out more times than not. It's the fastballs over the middle of the plate that get crushed. And if you're geared up to hit them, that's what's going to happen.
And if you're Luis Severino and it's averaging 97, 98.
You take your chances no matter what ballpark you pitch in. Of course, Yankee Stadium is a little bit more fly ball, hold your breath. This is a much bigger stadium, even though at times it can play small, especially by this team.
Polanco rips a base hit to right. 1-out single, Jorge Polanco.
But everything in baseball is contagious, and when you get in rhythm and somebody gets a big hit, everybody starts feeling a little bit better. This team's down 2-0. They had their moment last inning. They weren't able to get it done. They're waiting for somebody to come up with a big hit to kind of get that mojo back, because this team had this mojo all year. They didn't take second fiddle to anybody offensively, and it didn't matter who they faced. This guy right here at the plate, he's the reason this team has been as good as it has all year, and he needs to get going just a little bit right here to get this crowd and the offense rocking.
2 for 7 with a home run in this division series. First-year Twin Nelson Cruz hacks at a breaking ball, weakly to right, routine for Judge. T-Mobile is introducing its newest, most powerful signal ever. No signal goes farther, no signal more reliable, whether you're home or away. T-Mobile is with you. So on one pitch, Severino is able to get Cruz, and up comes Eddie Rosario. Took a face-high fastball his last time and doubled off the top of the wall in right center. One of the best bad ball hitters in baseball.
He sure is.
Leads baseball in extra base hits on pitches out of the zone. He added another one his last time. First one this time is low, ball 1.
More apt to chase up than down, and he'll chase a lot of pitches because, especially when he gets to 2 strikes, only one other player chased more with 2 strikes in baseball than he did.
On a 1-0, it's chopper foul. 28 years old in his 5th major league season. One of the many Twins that He's put together career numbers this year. 32 home runs, 109 driven in. A team that this city has loved. 101 wins, second most in franchise history, behind just the pennant-winning team in 1965. On a 1-1 pitch, Rosario fouls it off 1-2.
Well, at some point you would think for the Twins, when you look at this series starting, I thought the ability to hit was going to be something that was a strength. But I thought at some point they're going to have to beat the Yankees bullpen. I mean, whoever beats the Yankees is going to, it's more than likely you're going to have to beat them once or twice, because you feel like that's the strength of their club. And so going into this game, you would have liked to have had a lead going into the 6th inning, and maybe they will.
That's it to right. Shifted over there. Torres has no play. So a 2-out hit for Eddie Rosario. Gets Mitch Garver to the plate here with 2 gone in the 3rd. Rosario 2 for 2. Threw on 1 for 9 in the 2 games in New York.
Again, another opportunity. And the 2-out hits are so hard to come by, and when they do, they just feel like double the pleasure if you're an offensive team, because they're just hard to come by no matter when you play. Even 2 outs, the pitcher usually has the advantage.
Yankees are able to get it done with 2 out in the top of this inning with that man Brett Gardner. Severino is able to get out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam in the 2nd. Now 1st and 2nd, 2 gone in the 3rd. And his first pitch to Mitch Garver is very high, ball 1. Only 4 of 14 first pitch strikes for Severino.
Normally comes back to haunt you the longer you're in the game and the longer that spread gets the other way.
You don't figure he'll be in the game that long. What you're talking about with the Yankees bullpen.
Nope.
2-0 on Garver. So 62 pitches right now.
Well, the right guy's on deck if Garver can get on base.
And Luis Arraez.
Such a weapon.
Two 2-0 on Mitch Garver, one of the best fastball hitters in baseball in 2019. Does Severino give him one? Backed up with a slider, ball 3.
Oh, we've seen in the series so far that I can tell, there's been a few guys swinging 3-0. You have to, if you're going to give a hitter a 3-0 count, swing, green light, you got to trust he's not going to get out of his mechanics to do that, meaning overswing, eyes get big, and usually pop it up. If you have the discipline and you trust your guy, you give him the green light.
Here's a pickoff move. Throw nearly gets into center. Good catch, Torres. Does your gut tell you Garver's one of those guys?
I would think, based on his fastball, the way he crushes the fastball, I would tell him center, green light, go, give me a 3-2 lead.
7 home runs last year. Said his goal coming into this year was 20. He hit 34. A high strike, and it's 3-1.
Those are the ones that hurt if you're a hitter, because now you've just seen that pitch as up. You've been taken all at bat. It's only 3-1, but it changes your mindset as a hitter when you see a call like that on 3-0.
First movement in the Yankees bullpen. It's Tommy Kahnle. On a 3-1 instead of toss back.
Don't quite understand that right there. That is either you're not sure of yourself right now, or you're trying to create some time. The call, they give you the call for a pickoff play to give the reliever a little bit more time.
Now the 3-1. Slider that he swings through, 3-2.
High slider. Just gets underneath it. Now the runners, good news is 3-2 count. The runners will be going, easily scoring a single, possibly a double, scores both the runs.
There they go. Here it comes. Garver swings through a fastball, strike 3, and Severino's out of another jam, keeping the Yankees in front 2-0. We'll be back to Minneapolis right after a word from our local sponsors. Yankees 2, Twins 0, both in the series and in the game. Giancarlo Stanton leads off this 4th. Yankees getting single runs in the 2nd and in the 3rd against Jake Odorizzi. His first pitch is down and away. Stanton, one of the 4 strikeout victims of Odorizzi so far. Still looking for his first hit of this series. Off the end of the bat to shallow center. Kepler was very deep. He's not going to get there. And that is how Giancarlo Stanton collects his first hit of the American League Division Series. Time for a game break. We check in with Kevin Burkhardt in Los Angeles. And you figure it will be Strasburg and Buehler.
It's going to be a pitcher's dream matchup if you love pitching and you love the way that each goes about their craft in kind of a different way. For Buehler being the kind of the newfound ace, the passing of the torch, if you will, in LA.
There's Torres, homered in the first pitch he saw his first time up, takes ball 1 here.
Well, in that previous play, Kepler playing back, got to respect the power of Stanton. He had a bad read on the big swing that came off the end of the bat. Easy to do as a center fielder to swing. Made it look like the ball was going to carry a little farther, and of course off the end of the bat it dunks in.
Out. 2-0. The Twins in a lot of ways missed Byron Buxton. He was having a great season, one of the best defensive center fielders in the game. So Kepler a little bit out of position, having to play center with him out. Stanton at first, leading off this inning. 2-0 to Torres. Fouled off, 2-1. What a beautiful ballpark, huh?
It really is. First time seeing it when it opened. Just, of course, everybody might have been a little concerned about this time of the year in April and what kind of weather you're going to get. But what a venue.
2-2.
I think it's about as classic as it gets. And walking around the stadium and having the different areas for fans to go. They've been waiting for this for a while, and I think they've got a team that may see October a few more times in the next couple of years.
Yeah, one of the reasons that they're pretty excited is the young pieces that have emerged. So some questions about the pitching moving forward, though. Conversation for another time. Still 2-2 on Torres.
This is where Torres gets tough. He might be a little more loose with the first couple strikes on him, meaning he'll swing and miss and look for the downs, but he has a way of fighting off these pitches and getting to the one he wants. Sometimes he'll pick up his leg, which is early in the count. Sometimes he'll get his foot down and keep it simple and trust his hands. With 2 strikes, he's been really good for a young player. You'd swear he's been in the league for 20 years.
Nope. Well, it's not been 20 years, but it sure seems like more than 2 years.
Yeah.
Like it has been.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
You see him that early in the count, he would have hit his leg up and he would have swung at that pitch. But watch how quick he gets his foot down, and now he's able to stay back behind a pitch that was a pretty good pitch to entice the hitter in swinging.
Seen it a lot from Torres. Seen it a lot up and down this Yankees lineup in this series. Refusing to chase. On a 3-2. Torres chops a ground ball to the hold it short. Polanco quick hands to get one at second, and they turn a double play.
That's as good as you will ever see in the postseason for a double play. That was outstanding. And a guy can run a little bit, Torres. This ball is in the hole. Watch the quick hands and then the quick turn for a double play. Man, oh man, you won't see it any better than that.
Oh, awesome. The all-star Polanco's had his issues defensively. A lot of them have been throwing. It starts a beautiful double play to wipe him clean, and Sanchez takes ball one. Not too many things more beautiful in sports than a well-turned double play.
Hey, listen, it's why it's the pitcher's best friend.
1-1.
My best friend, however, was Andrew Jones, because I was more of a fly ball pitcher than I was a ground ball pitcher. But Maddox and Glavine could definitely make the claim that the infield was their best friend.
Mm-hmm. Jake Odorizzi to Gary Sanchez with a 1-1 offering. Putting together the best starting pitching performance Twins have had in this series. Barrios game 1, Dobnak game 2. Barrios was okay, not great. Dobnak knocked out of the game early. And Odorizzi, who's been their best starter throughout the regular season, showing up nicely here in game 3.
Yeah, I think there's some talk of, secondhand talk when you can guess later of possibly leaving Barrios in later in that game to try and work out of that trouble.
Sanchez digs it out and yanks a base hit through the left side. So both Stanton and Sanchez get their first hit of the postseason here in the 4th inning of game 3. Time for our Supercut Superstar Watch around the rest of the postseason. Charlie Morton today getting the Rays in the win column in that division series, forcing a game 4 tomorrow that Justin Verlander is going to start for Houston. Yadier Molina ties the game in the 8th, wins it in the 10th for the Cardinals to force a game 5, and Max Scherzer and the Nationals just forced game 5 against the Dodgers. 3 teams had a chance to clinch today. Now 4 had a chance to clinch. 0 for 3 so far.
Well, I know a lot of people here are hoping it's going.
They're hoping that 4 for 4.
Yeah.
The team staying alive. This inning kept alive for Didi Gregorius, who's behind 0-1.
Well, there's been some unbelievable, exciting postseason games already, and we're just getting underway. Some late inning dramatics, some big innings. How about 7 runs with 2 outs and 2 strikes on just about every hitter for the Dodgers yesterday?
Boy, it was not looking good for them midway through that game. Down a couple of runs. Anibal Sanchez dominating them before that rally you're talking about.
Braves had 3 runs scored with 2 outs in the 9th, and the Cardinals clutched right back up and rallied and won and send that to a classic game 5 pitching matchup.
Here's the 0-2. Got him swinging with a fastball, and that's that for the Yankees in the 4th. Twins trying to push this season a day longer. Down 2-0 in the series, trying to force game 4 tomorrow night here in Minneapolis. Luis Ariz looks at strike one from Luis Severino in a 2-0 game here in the bottom of the fourth. A single in the second from Ariz loaded the bases for the Twins with nobody out. Severino was able to get out of it. That is the key moment in this game. The 25-year-old out of the Dominican Republic in his 5th major league season. Just 3 games in 2019, missing almost the whole year with that shoulder issue. It's a grounder to short. Gregorius throws Ariz out. Well, the postseason captivates us with its dramatic moments like John was talking about from earlier today, and MLB app has them all. The one place to get everything for your favorite team's chase to the pennant. Download MLB at Bat today. Here's Miguel Sano. Long at bat with the bases loaded after Ariz's base hit in the second, but eventually popped out and is 1 for 9 in this series.
It's funny the way this game mentally works. Regular season 2-0 is nothing for this offense, and they know they could score a lot. But the longer this game goes, even though it's only 2 runs, that gap's going to look bigger and bigger if Aaron Boone goes to his bullpen. And every player knows what the edge and the strength of another team is. And the last thing you want to do is give them an advantage to flex their muscles, if you will.
They average close to 6 runs a game during the regular season. They've got 6 runs in 3 games in this series. No. And I know that coming into the series that the history against the Yankees didn't mean anything to this bunch of guys, but the short-term history now has to mean a whole heck of a lot. You've had 2+ games where you've been able to do nothing, thoroughly dominated, searching for something to feel good about.
Yeah, and they've had their chances. That's the problem. And when you don't cash in on those chances, you start running out of them. I mean, I'd like to know, we didn't have time to even look it up, but bases loaded, nobody out, what the percentage of at least a run scoring has got to be pretty high. And they didn't get anything out of that.
2-2. Go get some fresh pine tar on there.
Ready to go.
Gary Cederstrom doesn't want to let him.
Go ahead.
As long as Marwin Gonzalez assists from the on-deck circle, he says he can have the pine tar.
No.
Laid off the slider and the count goes full.
That's a good, much better take there. That's the pitch they've really struggled with. Cruz and Sano. This one's way off the plate, but you could see how he wanted to go for it. He wanted to attack it.
To answer your question, bases loaded, nobody out.
Yeah.
Run expectancy to get at least 1, about 85%.
Yeah, that's
85% of the time you get at least 1 out of that situation. One gone, 4th inning. Yankees 2, Twins nothing. Another 3-2 to Sano, and he got him to chase up with a fastball. 2 gone. Player performance fueled by Gatorade. Luis Severino getting out of each of the last 2 innings. Had 5 base runners in those 2 innings, and he used the strikeouts to get out of them.
He's been really, really good with making pitches in obviously 2 big moments. And his secondary pitches to me are as good as it gets for right-handers when healthy. That's That's why when you looked at this rotation out of spring training, you were like James Paxton, Severino. You're going, oh man, this is not just going to be a bullpen-laden team. Tanaka, even the emergence of Herman,
Sabathia. Tanaka sure was good the other night. That's a strike 0-2 on Gonzalez.
And Happ will now, more than likely pitch out of the pen, just depending on what happens in this series.
Aaron Boone said he was going to manage to win tonight and the series tonight and worry about tomorrow if it happens. Not looking at holding anybody back. A lot of options for game 4, but again, depending on how tonight goes. Canely is a slow warm.
Yeah, this could be the last inning for Severino. You see the 80 pitches there. There's going to be no reason probably in the next inning to push the envelope with the job he's given you so far.
Home with another 1-2. Gonzalez flexes it down the line. It'll fade foul.
It's kind of a unique series in the sense that they kind of mirror image each other, and no one knows what's going to happen in game 4 if there is one based on who would pitch.
Right.
Very easily both teams could go to a bullpen type scenario, which is hard to believe, but
that probably would. It's been cool to see some of the starting pitching performances across the other series.
Well, going into this postseason, the starters have had their way, and a lot of it's been dominated by individuals. The bullpens have not been very good. When you think about the ERA collectively before today's game started, you're talking about what Cole did, and Verlander, and Voltanevich, and Flaherty, and a lot of individual starters doing well.
Down the line and caught by LeMahieu. 3-time Gold Glover at second base, going wherever the Yankees need him in 2019. Tonight they need him at first. Needed him here to snag this line drive, and it stays 2-0. On FS1 is presented by Doosan. Back in Minneapolis, Joe Davis, John Smoltz, Ken Rosenthal, and it looks like Luis Severino's night is over. Couldn't ask for more. 4 shutout innings.
He did a great job. He felt like he probably pitched 8 innings with the traffic on bases and with the stress he had there in the second inning. Now Rocco's going to have to keep his bullpen relatively ready so that this game doesn't get out of hand if the Yankees put together any kind of threat. Odorizzi's done a nice job keeping him at 2. There's the line score on both of them.
Well, the Yankees had hoped that Severino could be this guy. 1-1 to Gio Urshela is lifted to right center field. Kepler 1 away and down to Kenny.
Joe, that determination Severino showed to escape those jams, the slider he used so effectively, those were 2 of the reasons the Yankees were so attracted to him as a youngster in the Dominican Republic in 2011. Donnie Rowan, the Yankees international scouting director, recalls arranging a simulated game against some quality hitters for Severino. And in the dugout before that game, Severino was sick to his stomach. Rowan said, hey, you don't have to do this. We can reschedule it, do it another time. Severino said, no, I want to pitch. He went out, threw 2 innings, flashed that slider, and the day after Christmas in 2011, the Yankees signed him for $225,000.
Strike 1 on DJ LeMahieu, and Kenny, he's a guy who grew up a diehard Yankees fan in the Dominican, imagining that he was in pinstripes when he played at the local field just a couple blocks down the street from his house. Dad got him his first Yankees hat when he was 11 and wore it out. Thought he was going to sign with the Colorado Rockies. Interest came slowly. But when the Yankees came calling, and then he had that opportunity Kenny told you the story of, once they offered, there's no question what he was going to sign. On an 0-2 pitch, LeMahieu takes one that's overthrown, ball 1.
A little slip there. Once he made the mechanical adjustment with his glove and the ball coming out of his glove, and it really simplified his mechanics, Luis Severino has become one of those top pitchers that you say one of these years he's going to win a Cy Young. He's that good. And if he stays relatively healthy, of course, we'll be talking about him in that vein. This year was not the case. But he's rallied back and worked hard to get to this position to help the Yankees have a deep run.
Stays at 1-2 on LeMahieu. Severino debuted when he was 21. 2015. He was an all-star in 17 and 18. Top 5 in the majors in wins over those 2 years. And then signed a long extension this spring. 4 years, $40 million. Club option for the Yankees for another year. 2-0 game, 5th inning. Game 3 of the division series. Yankees going for the sweep. Twins trying to extend it another night. LeMahieu taps it in front of the plate. That's a fair ball, and he's out number 2. Well, Jake Odorizzi getting an opportunity to do something here that he doesn't always get, and that is see a lineup 3rd time through. As with so many pitchers in baseball, the number's much worse once a lineup sees him the 3rd time.
And you know why that is?
Because they don't get to do it enough.
Right. So if you don't do it enough, you're not trained to do it enough, the numbers aren't going to look good. And so he puts so much emphasis on it, it becomes the barometer or gauge to never let them do it based on the numbers. So
Judge hammers the ball the other way. First pitch that he sees, but it'll stay in the yard. Rosario puts it away. A 1-2, 3/5 for Jake Odorizzi. Halfway home in game 3. ALDS presented by Doosan on FS1 here in Minneapolis. Yankees ahead of the Twins 2-0. Jake Odorizzi getting hugs and high fives like he's done. 5 innings, pretty darn sharp. The bullpen for the Twins has not been sharp in this series. So we'll see, but it looks like Jake Odorizzi's night is finished. Out of the Yankees bullpen goes Aaron Boone as Tommy Kahnle delivers strike 1 to Jake Cave.
well, this man has a power fastball and a power changeup and power legs to go with it. He pitches from his thighs and lower half pretty strong.
Cave turns on a ball deep to right. Judge will play it off the wall. Cave headed for second. He'll throw on the brakes and retreat with a cannon of Judge and the great field to play that carom, holding Cave to a leadoff single.
Well, a good swing and a good start, but unfortunately the ball bounces right back to a guy who's got a great arm, so that prevents you getting a scoring position. But anytime in the postseason you can get a runner on, it feels like a rally.
Especially against a new pitcher,
Absolutely.
Right?
You're almost like, okay, anybody but Severino. We weren't able to cash in. Now you get the crowd ready to go again, on their feet if they can muster up anything to get some runs here in the 5th.
Max Kepler representing the tying run. Takes ball 1, not close from Kahnle. He's pitched now in all 3 games in this series. Gave up a home run to Miguel Sano in game 1, then worked a 1-2-3 inning in game 2.
Well, Kepler, I was getting ready to say, needs to check into this series. You see he's 0 for 7. He has not been, he's taken, other than taking a couple walks, he hasn't really had one of those good swings where the ball feels good off the bat.
On a 1-0, Kepler swings, hits it down the line. It's hooking towards the pole and foul. And 1-1. Now the bullpens have been the big separators in this series. The Twins have given up 11 runs in the bullpen in just 10 innings, and it was a bullpen that over the final couple months had turned into a strength for them.
It had, and you know, that was the theme coming in. Could their bullpen mix and match with the Yankees bullpen?
Fights it off into center. Gardner is there. The ALDS continues tomorrow on FS1, all starting with Game 4 of Astros-Rays. That is currently scheduled for 3 Eastern if this series is to extend to a 4th game. Otherwise, the Yankees finish off the sweep tonight. Rays-Astros will be at 7. Coverage beginning at 6, and then over on TBS on Wednesday, a couple Game 5s with the Dodgers and the Nationals, Cardinals and the Braves.
Well, this is the part of the lineup right here that the Twins must get going.
Polanco, the 2-hitter, 1 for 2 tonight. Ball 1. Twins, Major League record 307 home runs during the regular season. They've hit 3 in 3 games in this series. Cruz, who's on deck, has 1. Polanco, who's at the plate here, has 1 as well. The 1-0 pitch. Adam Ottavino.
He's getting ready more than likely for Cruz. He's had that name on the lineup card his entire series. Cruz and Sano is Ottavinos.
Polanco reaches out, lifts it down the line. Long run for everybody involved, and it'll fall harmlessly for strike 2.
Really, the only questionable spot for the Yankees defense is going to be in left field with Stanton. They need him in there for his bat. He's just not physically as able as you would think, where he could play outfield just as well and carry his own. The knee not quite right.
Yeah. Jorge Polanco hit 23 home runs his first 4 major league seasons. 22 this year alone. On a 1-2 from Tommy Kahnle. Takes in the dirt, ball 2. Polanco out of San Pedro in the Dominican Republic. Cradle of shortstops. On a 2-2 pitch, he pops it up in shallow center field. Urshela skating back there, called off by Stanton, who just barely makes the catch. Probably going to get it out either way there. 2 gone in the 5th. Nelson Cruz comes to the plate. The numbers for the Twins going back to 7th inning of Game 1 of this series. All 3 home runs they've hit in this series came over the first part of that Game 1. Not been too many stretches this year where Rocco Baldelli's team has gone this long without flexing its power muscles.
And Mr. Bone's going to flex his bullpen muscles here and probably signal to Ottavino, which is a much tougher at bat for Cruz than Kahnle would be.
So from Severino to Kahnle to Ottavino in a 2-0 game in the 5th inning. Quarterback Daniel Jones and the Giants taking on Tom Brady and the Patriots Thursday from Gillette. Here in Minneapolis, 2-0 Yankees in front. Joe Davis and John Smoltz. Yankees going for the sweep. The Twins have had opportunities. They've got another one here with a guy that hit 41 home runs during the regular season coming up in Cruz.
Yeah, he's got a tough matchup here, though. If he sees one fastball, he's going to have to make the use of it because this slider is something that Ottavino is really tough on right-handers. And Aaron Boone's not going to take any chances. And the one thing about the Minnesota Twins, if they're going to make this a series, they're going to have to put a dent in the New York bullpen.
Ottavino, one of the game's best. Oh for 2 tonight. 2 for 8 in the division series. On the first one from Ottavino, he didn't like how long Ottavino took there, and time was called.
That was late. One thing that you can do against Ottavino is take a base, but we don't see many stolen bases in the game, and whether or not Minnesota will take that chance here with 2 outs to get into runners in scoring position.
Fewer stolen bases than any team in the majors this year. First pitch slider outside, ball 1.
Now that's a good take because that's the pitch he's been swinging at, and you just got to keep praying on that side of the plate if you're Ottavino, because that has been kind of the kryptonite for Cruz and Sano.
Tying run up there, 2 gone, 5th inning. Here's the 1-0 delivery.
No.
Ooh, didn't get the call. Ball 2. Cruz has faced Ottavino 6 times in his career and reached in half of them. A couple walks and a home run. More home runs than any player in baseball over the last decade. On a 2-0 pitch, Nelson Cruz watches ball 3, not budging on that slider.
Not budging and staying disciplined. He's the kind of hitter that you could see a 3-0 swing and a guy that would do damage because of his ability to do that. Home runs.
See nothing but sliders so far. On 3-0. Ball 4. And the Twins get the tying run aboard here in the 5th. Aaron Boone wants him to buy some time. Chad Green. And here's Rosario. So it looks like Ottavino is just for Cruz. Aaron Boone managing aggressively. Out to Chad Green to face Eddie Rosario with a tying run aboard here in the 5th inning. Yankees 2, Twins nothing. Last of the 5th here in Game 3 of the ALDS, with the Yankees ahead 2 games to none. Aaron Boone managing aggressively. 1 batter for Adam Ottavino. He walks Cruz and brings on Chad Green for Eddie Rosario.
Good fastball hitter. Rosario loves the first pitch. 10 homers on the first pitch on the year. This is going to be my best fastball against his swing at the plate.
Never met a pitch he didn't like. First one inside, and the Yankees catch a break with his shin guard to home plate umpire Gary Cederstrom.
Well, he crossfired. He pulled that 4-seam fastball that Green is so good at. Just pulls it, actually cuts, catches.
That keeps the tying run from moving into scoring position. Rosario 2 for 2 tonight. Cave at second. Cruz at first. Green's 1-0. Fouled it back, and it's 1-1.
see where Sanchez is setting up. He wants that four-seam, high-spinning fastball to be at middle to middle up. And he gets it right there, and Rosario not able to get on top.
One of those 30 home run hitters for the Twins. He had 32 this year. Two on, two out, 1-1. Strike two. Third time in the last 4 innings the Twins have had multiple base runners. Left him loaded in the second. Left him at first and second in the third. Got him at first and second here in the fifth. The 1-2 from Chad Green. That is pulled to the right side. Stopped by Torres. Throw to first in time. What a play on both ends. Torres in short right. LeMahieu on the backhand.
Wow. We've seen two now one by the Twins and now by the Yankees. Potentially save a run.
Tonight with a home run, and he saved a run with a defensive play to finish off the last inning. 2-0 Yankees. Taylor Rogers, the closer for the Twins, makes his first appearance for the series, and the first appearance this season, John, before the 7th. Brett Gardner takes a strike.
It just tells you about the Twins desperate to keep this close, knowing that the bullpen will finish it for the Yankees, and it's been a good bullpen. It has not been a great bullpen so far for the Twins in this series. Taylor getting his first look.
0-2.
He's just funky, man. He just kind of slings it, but he also can rush it up there.
Fourth year with the Twins. First one as the closer. For a lot of the year, he was their only trusted reliever, really. He gets Gardner to chase and makes quick work of him for the first out of the 6th. Our dynamic play of the game presented by Hankook Tire. Gleyber Torres getting to this ball. Looked like for a moment it was like, okay, well, he's probably going to save a run just by getting there, but winds up getting out of the inning by getting the throw to LeMahieu. Makes a fantastic catch on it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You never know how an inning's going to unfold, even if that play doesn't produce a run and the bases are loaded. That was a big out.
Encarnacion with one gone.
Hey, ha!
Against right-handers, they're basically not hitting much off of this guy's sinker, slider, or curveball. It's one of those reverse splits where he's got better success numbers-wise against the opposite arm. So in this case, against right-handed batters.
And he can give him more length than you typically think of a closer being able to give you. He's gone 2+ innings 9 times. Encarnacion gets under this one. It'll be Gonzalez. 2 up and 2 down for Taylor Rogers. Yankees ahead 2-0 as Stanton bats with the bases empty here in the 6th. We talk about the Twins bullpen being really good down the stretch, really bad in this series, but we've not really seen their very best pieces. This is Rogers' first appearance. Trevor May has thrown 1 pitch in this series.
Yeah, the formula for the Twins coming into this, they had to feel good about their offense, had to feel good about their front two starters, and the bullpen was the question mark, and whether these guys under the gun in New York would be able to feel comfortable and do what they were doing the last 2 months of the season.
Ground ball to short. Polanco out of the bullpen. Taylor Rogers on 8 pitches has a 1-2-3-6. Caps, tees, jerseys, hoodies, and more. You can get all your Division Series gear. Suit up with your team at the official source, MLBshop.com. Joe Davis, John Smoltz, Ken Rosenthal back here in Minneapolis at Target Field, where the Yankees got one in the second and one in the third. Twins have had their opportunities. Multiple base runners 3 of the last 4 innings, but nothing to show for it. Mitch Garver takes strike 1 from Chad Green.
Yeah, when you get base runners on early, it's usually a good thing in the postseason. And unfortunately for Minnesota, they've not cashed in. They're going to look back. If they don't win this game and obviously lose this series, they're going to look back to that second inning as huge of an opportunity as you're going to get with the collection of hitters they had up.
Bases loaded, nobody out, and couldn't score. Sano popped out. Marwin Gonzalez, Jake Cave both struck out. And not just tonight, but all series. 136 with runners in scoring position. The 1-1 pitch. Garver takes a strike 1 and 2. Not often you see him take a fastball strike.
I'm just telling you, Mr. Green has an electric fastball that's so free and easy with his delivery, and the ball just jumps on the hitter. You think, 80% of the time a fastball's coming. The hitter just never gets on top of it.
Nope.
It's just one of these gifts that not every pitcher has. Doesn't look like he's even putting any effort whatsoever into it. The ball jumps out of his hand. Basically a 2-pitch pitcher.
2-2 pitch. Ball 3. And has quietly down the stretch been the Yankees' best guy. The 0.51 earned run average over his last 11 games. Struck out more than half of the hitters that he saw in September. Often used as the opener. There's an option for a hypothetical game 4. Here's his 3-2. He got him swinging with a fastball. 1 away in the 6th. Then we go down to Ken.
Well, it's easy to forget now, guys, but Chad Green gave up 4 home runs in his first 7 2/3 innings this season. Got demoted to AAA to work on his delivery, and here's what he did. He moved his hands to a higher set position. That was to improve his timing. Also worked on keeping his glove closer to his chest in his delivery. That helps him stay closed off. And Joe, you said it. He's been the hottest reliever the Yankees had down the stretch.
First one to Luis Ariz, misses low. It's amazing how little thing like that can change so many things.
Every year, all year, pitchers are always trying to make sure they can find out whatever it is that's causing them a drag, or they're getting their hands out late. By picking his hands up and coming out there, it's fluid. There's no lag. He's able to hide the ball as well, too. When your hands are low, and for some guys it can work, the timing has to be better. So when you go to home plate, your hands are low, your arm comes out a little late. That gives you a little more drag to your fastball, and it's a little more hittable.
1 and 2.
And for a guy who just pitches out of the stretch, that's the only component you're really looking for. If you go too fast towards home plate, your front side flies open. Those are things you always work on. But the coming out of the glove and the hand in the proper position so that when your foot lands, you're in a great throwing position to go downhill. Some guys like Goose Gossage obviously got it done a different way. It looked like he was throwing hard. He did throw hard, but he used his motion as deception along with velocity. This guy looks like he's playing catch with the catcher, so it almost lulls the hitter into thinking, oh, fastball's coming, I'll get ready, and boom, by you.
Another 1-2. Spins inside, ball 2. Trying to get a base runner on for the powerful Sano. Green ready for a 2-2 to the rookie Luis Ariz. Driven to left center field. That is going to split the gap. Extra bases for Ariz. He's got his 4th double of the series, and the Twins again threaten.
See, here's where velocity and the type of hitter that's different in baseball does him a favor. High fastball out over the plate. Already talked about how he loves it. Stays back. See how the back foot comes up? Gets on top and just shoots the gap.
That's awesome.
I think that's going to be making a comeback in baseball, believe it or not. We're going to see more of those hitters get rewarded for their ability to hit rather than just necessarily mash the ball over the fence.
We see selling out for power. That's selling out for bat to ball.
Yep.
And that gets Miguel Sano to the plate, representing the tying run. The Bomba squad has never needed one more. .307 home runs, more than any team in baseball history. Sano had 34 of those. First one from Chad Green is taken high.
Earlier in the year, that gave Sano all kinds of fits. A good take right there. He's been really working on staying on top of the baseball that's up. That one just barely missed. Such a good low ball hitter. Him and his batting coach have been working on it, and he's become a different hitter in the second half.
Swings through that elevated fastball, 1-1. He used to hate hitting off the high velocity machine. And one of the many things he's learned from Nelson Cruz, who's become his mentor, like a big brother to him, is that that's important to get your reps off of it. He's gotten much better as the season has gone on against the high velocity. He's seeing it here against Green. And on this 1-1 pitch, got another fastball, came up empty again, 1-2. A year ago, 133 with 1 homer against high velocity, qualified 94 and above. This year, 247, 10 home runs against those heaters.
And he's just gotten 2 of them right by him.
Hoping and praying for another day. It's 2019 for the Twins. Sano.
No.
Did he go? No swing. 2-2. Boy, not easy when you get beat by a couple fastballs to lay off that.
You're not kidding. I mean, especially where he threw that pitch. Because when a fastball gets by a good fastball hitter, all of a sudden you feel like you got to do something different to speed up, whether it's your hand or your body. And actually you got to do the opposite. You got to slow everything down and trust your hands. You can see the body of Sano trying to get out in front of the barrel of the bat.
That one wasn't enticing enough.
Too much movement on the mound or at the plate are not good for baseball players. Lateral movement not good for either the pitcher or the hitter. Staying centered both over the rubber and at the plate are recipes for success. Easier said than done when tension's on you.
Another chance for Miguel Sano. Popped out with the bases loaded in the second. Ariz' second one gone. A 3-2 pitch. Sano fouls it off and stays alive.
The good news is no matter how great a fastball is, the more you see it in and at bat, the better it goes to the hitter. The advantage to the hitter.
Sano has given him some big swings late in games this year.
The offense of Minnesota needs to hear one good sound of the bat, one crack.
Can Sano provide it? Driven to right. Back goes Judge. Leaps to make the catch. Needed every bit of that 6'6" frame to bring in out number 2.
I mean, this is a big-time deflator if you're the fans right here. The only guy that could have made that play is right there. That's the only guy. I don't even think Mookie Betts makes that play based on how good he is and reaction of the bat. To be that tall and that gifted. And you can just see Minnesota has had so many of the air come out of them in moments that either the Yankees pitchers have made or their defense has made.
I even docked him an inch. Officially listed 6'7". 6'6", it might have been a double.
Much better approach there for Cano.
2 gone, and it's up to Marwin Gonzalez. Strike 1.
So where Marwin holds his hands in his approach, he's a better high ball fastball hitter as well, but susceptible on that ball down and in that we've seen him miss in the inner part of the plate. Anything breaking, they'll take a flare, they'll take a broken bat hit, whatever to get them on the board.
Turns on it, high fly ball to right. Judge drifts back at the track with room, and the inning comes to an end. Boy, some tense moments here in Minneapolis. They're still searching for their first run. Yankees 2, Twins nothing after 6. Well, this has probably been the most compelling of the 3 games in this series so far. The Yankees getting single runs in the 2nd and the 3rd, and the Twins have had several opportunities, come away empty-handed in all of them. So a 2-0 game as Rogers delivers strike 1 to Gleyber Torres. Joe Davis, John Smoltz, Ken Rosenthal. Yankees have a 2-0 series advantage in this best of 5, trying to become the first team ever to sweep a 100-win opponent in the division series. Second inning of work for Rogers, bounces that one in there, and it's 1-1. The man that opened the scoring tonight, John, Gleyber Torres, his solo shot in the 2nd.
Yeah, just barely got it out and had made a great defensive play at second base. The Yankees are doing all the little things.
Thank you.
That's what makes them special on the year. They cover so many different areas of a baseball field that you can check the box on. And Aaron Boone has been pushing the right buttons as well.
Torres corks one down the line, hooking towards the corner, off the wall. Ricochets to Cave, throw to second late. Torres with a leadoff double. So 2 extra base hits tonight for Torres. You look back at his home runs, StatCast powered by AWS, 38 during the regular season. First of the postseason in his career right here. So there are the StatCast numbers for the 22-year-old. Follows that up with a double off the wall here to open the 7th.
Well, with Sanchez up, it's harder for him to go the other way. He's more of a pull hitter. Of course, the Yankees have a 2-0 lead, so adding on would be fantastic for their bullpen at this point. But the chances for him to move the runner over on are going to have to come on a hit.
Rogers to Sanchez with the 0-1.
Nope.
Tried to go through the back door. Didn't get the call. 1-1.
I still maintain that in the course of this young man's career, Mr. Sanchez is going to hit higher than he has for average. I mean, we know about the power. The power is going to be there. But the average is a little bit lower than it should be. And some of that might be due to some of the injuries and the position he has to play.
Well, that quick stint as a rookie in 2016 hit .299. It was in 53 games. His first full season, he had 278, so you know it's in there.
I definitely think this guy is such a threat, and he won't be batting down in the batting order much of his career. I can guarantee you that.
When you combine everything he does, when he does hit well, when he is healthy, he's as valuable as anybody in baseball.
Absolutely.
As a catcher. You take whatever offense you can get from your catcher these days, and he is a really good offensive player regardless of position. You factor in the position component to it, big time. On deck, Gregorius. 2-0 Yankees, 7th inning. One-two pitch. Check swing foul, and Torres is often moving there.
Yeah, he may have had it stolen, but sometimes with 2 strikes and the hitter at the plate, you know, definitely that's right in his vision. Gets to see the runner going. Puts a lot of pressure on him commanding the strike zone.
Rogers done a really good job controlling the running game. In fact, there's not been a stolen base attempt against him this year. Extra long look at Torres this time, and a 1-2.
Part of the reason that Torres can go to third is Sano is playing so deep because A, Sanchez is at the plate. B, he doesn't run very well, so any ball that's hit deep, you've got plenty of time to throw it out, throw him out at first. So that's a lot of room to cover for Sano to come in on a stolen base attempt, read the hitter, and get to third to try to apply the tag on what would be a stolen base, a runner going to third.
Another 1-2 pitch.
Got to get this breaking ball at his back foot. Anything that starts over the plate, back foot, he will swing at it. He starts this pitch from third base side of the rubber, so he throws it in the right-hander's batter box and creates an illusion that it's going to sweep down across the plate.
It's the 8th pitch to Gary Sanchez. Left it over the plate and got away with it.
Left it over. And the key is to get that ball down over an aggressive hitter who wants to pull the ball. It's the ideal pitch to throw to a guy who wants to pull the ball.
Sanchez has fouled off 6 pitches in a row. The 9th pitch of the at-bat with Torres at second and nobody out. Eventually.
Got 2 options, and I never liked option A. When an infielder gives you daylight, he shows you the glove between the runner and the base, and then you wheel and turn. I didn't like that. I wanted a play put on. And the play that's put on, you go on a timing, and then the runner goes, or the infielder goes to the bag on a timing.
Now 2-2. You saw Sergio Romo warming. Most pitches Rogers has thrown in an outing this year is 34.
They're set up for the same pitch if they want it.
got him swinging with a fastball. So Rogers wins the battle on the 10th pitch. One gone in the 7th.
Pretty good fastball, even though it was in the middle. He had him conscious of thinking the ball was going to be in, and Gary Sanchez just pulls out his front side and late on the fastball.
One away, and here's Didi. Grand slam on Saturday night, one of the big moments of this series. Pulls it down the line, a fair ball, and Gregorius does it to the Twins again. RBI single makes it 3-0. His 29th RBI in his last 13 games against Minnesota.
It's been amazing. On a lineup filled with a bunch of guys that can hurt you, the breaking ball stays inner half, and Didi hits it right down the line and easily scores. Torres from second.
You can hear a pin drop in here right now.
Well, 4 more opportunities, right, to bat. 3 more opportunities. We're down to 3.
Life comes at you fast.
Wow.
Gio Urshela out of the 9 spot. Strike 1. The Twins staring at a 16th consecutive postseason loss if they can't come from behind here. And it would be a 13th consecutive loss to the Yankees in the postseason. Game 1 of the 2004 American League Division Series at Yankee Stadium. Johan Santana, 7 shutout innings. Led him to a 2-0 win. Haven't won a postseason game since. It's the second longest postseason losing streak in the major sports, behind the Blackhawks a few decades ago.
Do we have to put this up for our benefit?
I know we couldn't have made this graphic 3. I mean 2 even.
Pistons and
2 Michigan guys here just getting killed. Inside 1-1. Our broadcast associate Brian Colucci intentionally added the Detroit teams on there just for you and I.
Well, Minnesota Twins franchise is going in the right direction, that's for sure.
It made it easy to forget that a year ago they were 78 and 84.
Yeah.
78 and 84 to 101 and 61.
You know, they don't have the depth that the Yankees had, so they couldn't afford some things that happened down the stretch. And certainly Pineda, the issues with Gibson and what he was able to not kind of get through physically. Pineda and the suspension.
Grounded to third. Sano had a hard time digging it out of there, but he did in time, and a nice pick by Gonzalez for a double play to end the inning. We stretch in Minneapolis. The Twins running out of chances, down 3-0. C.J. Cron pinch hitting for Jake Cave out of the 9th spot. Took a healthy rip at a fastball. Came up empty. 0-1 against Chad Green. Cameron Maben replacing Giancarlo Stanton in left field as he's done in the late innings in all 3 games now. Quickly 0-2.
The fastball percentage against the Minnesota Twins is going to go up thanks to the relievers of the Yankees, because their fastballs are a little bit different.
Nope.
Cron, Kepler, and Polanco for the Twins here in the 7th. Down to their last 3 innings, down 3-0. Crone digs it out and serves a base hit into left field. A heck of a piece of hitting with 2 strikes. Leaning out over the plate for a leadoff pinch hit single.
That might be the one pitch that they'll regret in the pitch selection. After fastballs were by you, here comes a breaking ball, and you see what he's able to do is just reach out, get the barrel of the bat on it, and then Maben plays it on one hop. Now that'll bring in more than likely Zach Britton.
Finishing up his warm-ups, and he will come on for the top of the order in a 3-0 game. On an FS1 here in Minneapolis. The ALDS continues tomorrow on FS1. All started with Game 4. Astros Rays at 3 Eastern, followed by, if necessary, Game 4 this series. Now, if the Yankees finish off the sweep here, Astros Rays will move back to 7 Eastern. Over on TBS on Wednesday, a couple Game 5s in the NL. Cardinals, Braves, Nats, Dodgers. Well, as you see on StatCast, powered by AWS, missed opportunities, some bad luck, some good defense. They've had 5 balls hit over 100 miles per hour tonight. Anything above 95 is considered hard hit, and they've got nothing out of it. Max Kepler, after the leadoff pinch hit single from Crone, facing Zach Britton.
Ground ball machine right here. Of course, Minnesota's trying to keep it off the ground.
Ball 1.
Now, the one thing about Zach Britton, it's probably going to be, this game will be eaten up by Zach Britton and Chapman. But Britton, from time to time, can lose the strike zone because that sinker breaks so much down. And if the hitter's disciplined and makes him throw more strikes, that's where he becomes a little more vulnerable if he's not throwing as many strikes.
And Aroldis Chapman starts to stir. Britton to Kepler with a 1-0. Lifted to right, not deep. Judge. And Kepler now 0 for 9 in this division series. He came back from the injury. Hadn't played over the final couple weeks of the regular season. Just 2 games over the final 3 weeks of the regular season, and hasn't looked like himself in the 3 games here.
No, he hasn't, and he's hoping his teammates can give him another game to get going. More than likely, he'll get one more swing at the bat in this game.
So Polanco. Polanco can reach. Nelson Cruz would come up representing the tying run. Britton delivers. Polanco hits a bouncing ball right side past LeMahieu. Race to the bag at first. In time. Britton by a half step beats Polanco.
Golly, did that look close. I think they're definitely going to want to take a look at that one. That was a great play by Britton getting over there. And Torres giving him the ball in a perfect spot. But, yep, gets him just by, just by the foot getting down.
Again, we made fun of ourselves for saying a game of inches in that first inning. So many times tonight.
You know, Britton's been dealing with that
Close.
knee. Well, this one shouldn't take very long. It looked a lot closer live. We got to see that angle.
Replay review powered by Mitel. The call's confirmed. Up to second goes Crone. Polanco's out number 2. And Nelson Cruz to the plate with 2 gone.
Not an easy play for a left-hander to make after he delivers the baseball, to spin and get over to first. But all the close and tough plays have gone the Yankees' way.
Yeah. Minnesota 3 for 24 with runners in scoring position in this series. Looking for a big swing from the guy that has been their leader all season. Cron at second with 2 gone for Nelson Cruz. First one from Britton. Ball 1.
It is just so hard to maybe sit at home and understand why so many hitters hit the ball on the ground when this guy's on the mound. If you don't stay center to right center against him as a right-handed hitter and you're thinking about pulling, the only time you can lift the ball in the air is if the sinker's fat over the plate. Otherwise, he does exactly what he's trying to do and induce you to hit the ball, the top of the ball, into the ground.
1-1.
When it leaves his hand, I mean, he swung at a pitch that was a foot outside the strike zone, but when it leaves his hand, it doesn't look that way. And every once in a while, he'll throw that little breaking ball that gets the hitter's eyes off of that sinker.
On 1-1.
Now.
Dives low and away, ball 2. Came over to the Yankees at the deadline last year. And then re-upped, 3-year contract in the offseason. Hoping Aaron Boone and the Yankees put together one of the best bullpens in baseball. Cron at second, 2 gone, 7th inning. A 2-1 pitch to Nelson Cruz. 2-2.
That may be the best pitch he's going to see this entire at bat. And even that was on the outer part of the plate. Started in the middle and kind of sunk away.
Two. Look out. Ricochets all the way back to the pitcher Britton. Up the third goes Cron.
That was a breaking ball that just slipped out of his hands. I don't even think he was aware of where Cron was when he fielded the ball off that hard surface behind home plate. This ball just slides out of his hand, comes all the way back to Britton, but he kind of assumed the guy would be at third already.
It's like playing in the alley, throwing it off the brick wall, right back to yourself. So now Cron 90 feet away, and the count is full on Cruz. 3-0 Yankees, bottom 7. Britton's payoff. Bounce back to him, makes the play. Ends the inning. The Twins have stranded another. They've left 9 aboard tonight. Fox Sports Super 6 app and play our football games for free for a chance to win up to $250,000. Sergio Romo comes on to pitch for the Twins. It's New York 3, Minnesota 0 as we go to the 8th inning. Top of the order for the Yankees, and ball 1 on DJ LeMahieu. A couple defensive changes. Cron, after pinch hitting, stays in, plays first. That moves Gonzalez to left. Cave out.
Now
2-0.
Sweeping sliders. You see a lot of it from Romo. Even the hitters know it's coming, and sometimes they can't do anything with it. Occasional sinker he'll throw back in on the hands of a right-hander.
Pop fly, first base. Cron, fresh into the game, makes the play. The last out of the 7th, Zach Britton makes the play. Kind of buckles and winces. This is somebody who has quite an injury history. The Achilles injury. He's dealt with a knee problem. More recently, some cramping. But at least worth keeping an eye on.
see anybody getting loose in the bullpen yet, but that doesn't mean they won't.
Judge with one gone. Strike one. Well, who would have thought, John? I mean, the Twins have pitched well enough tonight. Had you told Rocco Baldelli and the Twins you're going to pitch well enough, you would like your chances with this offense.
Yeah, for sure. Second inning again will just be the inning everyone goes back to and say what would have been like if that would have gone differently. Bases loaded, nobody out, and even couldn't even score on that hit with first and second. It was hit too firmly to left field. Of course, anytime you get a run, you start feeling better. And the process of that inning, getting a big inning, was really looming large, and it just all fell with a couple strikeouts to end the inning by Severino. He pitched his way out of it.
Romo to Judge with the 0-2. The dirt ball one. So, you know, Twins, very good home run hitting team, but they were also the second best team with runners in scoring position this year. Tonight they're 1 for 9. They're 3 for 25 in the series. All forms of offense deserting them here in the division series. A 1-2 pitch. Judge takes it outside, ball 2. That is Tyler Lyons loosening. Weak contact. Very deep was Kepler. One is dunked in already tonight, but he's able to charge under this one for out number 2.
Don't want to miss a game? Hey Siri, show me baseball schedules.
Romo looking for 1-2-3 8th inning. There's Britton back into the dugout. And here's Gardner.
Gardner with that big 2-out, kind of looked like defensive swing, but got it by Sano. RBI single in the 3rd.
Nope.
I mean, there's so many things you could have told me after September or after the All-Star break. There's nothing that could have told me that I would have believed that Gardner would be batting 3rd in the postseason for the Yankees.
Yeah.
No.
And here he is, playing a lot more this year because of the injuries than probably he even expected. He's become a mainstay. He's dependable. His average has probably suffered because his power has gone up. And they just told him, look, let it eat. That's the terminology left to a hitter, to let it fly like that and not try to do anything else. Because when Gardner was the ultimate pest, he was hitting the ball the other way, hitting it on the ground, beating it out. He was more of your leadoff hitter. Now he's become a power hitter. Well, so has everybody else. So
he out-homered Judge this year. I know Judge missed a bunch of time, but they had a fun thing going. A little home run battle. 28 for Gardner, 27 for Judge. 2-1 from Romo. Popped up. And Sergio Romo, if Polanco can run under this one, we'll have a 1-2-3 8. Romo trying to inject some energy and some life into target field. They've got 6 outs to work with. Bullpen that the Yankees have 92-2 this season when leading after 7. They've got a 3-0 lead here in Game 3 of the division series. And Zach Britton, who does stay in the game after looked like experienced some discomfort, making the play for the 3rd out of the 7th. Delivers strike 1 to Eddie Rosario. Look at the numbers for the Pen in this series. Below 200 average against him. And the big man, Aroldis Chapman, begins to get ready. Ugly flail, 0-2.
Well, this part of the game has been no secret on how the Yankees were going to finish off the series if given the lead. I think the biggest thing that, however this series ends for the Twins, you learn a lot going through it. Some good, some bad. You have to adjust how you feel and pressure situations. You just never know who's going to rise to the occasion, who might struggle, and the team that usually has experience only works out when you put yourself in position to utilize that experience, because you hear that all the time. Well, this team has experience, they've got guys that have been there, but if you don't play yourself in that position, then experience means nothing. The Yankees, however, have been through this a few times.
Part of the order for the Twins. Carver and Arise to follow Rosario, who's got 2 hits tonight. Minnesota team that averaged close to 6 runs per game during the regular season has been held to 6 runs total in this series. Best home run hitting team ever, just 3 home runs, none since the 7th inning on game 1. That's driven to deep right center field. Gardner on the move, back to the track, turns and watches it go. Finally, they get back in the long ball column. Rosario with a leadoff shot here in the 8th.
Well, that's huge, not just because the run, just because the run came on an 0-2 count. And it basically had him look foolish on a couple pitches. Rosario on an 0-2 pitch basically went to about as deep of the park you can go and has injected some life here in the 8th.
Only the 4th home run allowed by Zach Britton in 63 innings this season. It's a 3-1 game. Here's Garver. Cracks his bat on a roller to short for Gregorius. 1 away.
This is pretty rare with 2 strikes off of Zach Britton, but he spun one that did not turn at all. It backed up, and that one just clears the wall. And as usual, you first check in, you're trying to get everybody pumped up.
And now a quick word from NyQuil.
Powerful relief for your worst cold symptoms. NyQuil Severe, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, best sleep with a cold medicine.
So it's 3-1. Obviously, Aaron Boone still has Aroldis Chapman down there. And they may bring him in right now. Haven't used him since game 1, which was Friday night. And Britton will indeed leave with the training staff. Bottom of the 8th, 3-1 game. SmackDown on Fox. We have the WWE Draft this upcoming Friday, as superstars Roman Reigns, Becky Lynch, Kofi Kingston, and Charlotte Flair will find out their fate. Which show will they end up being on moving forward? Don't miss a very special Friday Night SmackDown, 8 Eastern on Fox. Eddie Rosario's home run has the Twins on the board here in the 8th inning, 3-1. And what is technically going to be termed an injury for Zach Britton will allow Aroldis Chapman to get all the time that Gary Cederstrom wants to give him to get ready. Look to go 5 outs to close this thing down. He's not pitched more than an inning since last June.
And that's kind of a big deal, but you can understand where Aaron Boone is trying to put an end to a series that will give his team all the rest they need in facing either Houston or the Rays.
Luis Arise Trying to get the tying run to the plate here in the 8th inning. Ball one. Arise doubled his last time and is the first rookie in Division Series history with 4 doubles. They didn't even know if he'd be on the postseason roster, Division Series roster, with the ankle injury last week. Turns on a ball, lines it right at Judge. Two gone in the 8th. We check in with Ken Rosenthal.
Yeah, guys, Zach Britton evidently did something with his ankle. That was the problem, his ankle. That's why he had to leave the game.
Okay. Thank you, Kenny. Yankees are hoping he'll have plenty of time to rest up for the ALCS. Trying to finish things off. 4 outs away from a sweep. Sano with 2 gone. Strike 1.
Seen a lot of big swings out of Sano. Timing just a little bit off. He did catch a homer in Yankee Stadium.
He's only hit of this series, 1 of 11. 7 Ks. 0-1 pitch.
Nope.
Leaves it up. Ball 1.
This time of year, especially in the postseason, tendency is, you want to be shorter, quicker with your stroke at the plate. Sometimes hitters get bigger and longer, and that's not a good recipe, especially off a high velocity.
She's facing here. Doesn't get much higher velocity than Aroldis Chapman. His 1-1 pitch is in the dirt with something that he's doing more of this year. That is throwing the slider. The 2-1. 2-2.
Might be one of the only times we don't see Chapman sweating from the bill of his cap. Every time he's out there, water pours off the bill of that cap.
He strikes him out, hitting 100. Aroldis Chapman comes on to begin his night, getting the Yankees to the 9th, up 3-1. Back in Minneapolis, 9th inning. Yankees ahead of the Twins 3-1. Edwin Encarnacion leads off this inning against Sergio Romo. Ball 1. Now, there were 4 games today. All 4 of them an opportunity for the teams to clinch. First 3, no dice. Yankees trying to the first team to move on this Monday, which has now become Tuesday in New York.
And there's a huge game tomorrow between the Astros and the A's and the Rays. And the reason that's a huge game is Justin Verlander's going for the Astros on 3 days rest. They win that game, they're set up great for the winner of this series. They don't win that game, they go 5, and then they've got to use their 2 resources to win that series. And of course, if you're the Yankees and you win this, that's what you're hoping for.
That's a ground ball to third. Sano gobbles it up, and Encarnacion the first out of the ninth. Game 1 will be over the weekend. The ALDS continues tomorrow on FS1. And again, if the Twins rally in the bottom of the 9th, force a game 4, this is what the schedule looks like. If the Yankees finish off the sweep, Astros Rays will be at 7. The NLDS continues on Wednesday with a couple game 5s. Cameron Maybin.
Hey, ha!
Strike 1 on Maybin.
So I don't know if Justin Verlander's still up, but his preparation will change depending on the outcome of this game. Which routine's really important to a pitcher.
Yeah.
Whether it's a shorter day or a longer day based on the time of the game.
Two and one. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Well, it's really interesting, guys. If the other series goes to a 5th game, then Garrett Cole would pitch that game on normal rest, and then it would compromise the Astros if they advanced to the American League Championship Series. Verlander likely game 2, Cole likely game 3, assuming they go on normal rest. And then they would not be available again on normal rest until 6 and 7. So if you're the Yankees and you advance tonight, you're rooting for the Rays tomorrow.
That is a towering fly ball that sneaks inside the pole, a home run. Cameron Maybin came into the game replacing Giancarlo Stanton defensively, and he provides some offense, taking the run right back.
The ball was hit high and didn't have a whole lot of hook to it. And just kept carrying out of here. You see the breaking ball stays middle in, and he knows he's got it good. It's whether or not it's going to stay fair, and it really didn't have much hook to it.
Second home run of the game for the Yankees, and they lead at 4-1. First home run was hit by this guy, Gleyber Torres, comes up empty on his first cut. Well, how about Cameron Maybin, who has bounced from one team to another, especially the last few years, pretty much nonstop on the move. Spring training this year with the San Francisco Giants, a month in AAA with the Indians, came to the Yankees what looked like a stopgap, the injury issues they were having, but has had one of his best offensive seasons and continued to be really good defensively as well.
I mean, there for a while it was getting laughable that no matter what the Yankees did, no matter who they put in, they were contributing at such a high rate. It was just, you just don't get years like this where you go through that many players and have the success they did.
Gleyber Torres bringing his best, sponsored by Old Dominion. 7-game postseason hitting streak. The youngest Yankee to hit a home run in the postseason since Derek Jeter, Game 1 of the ALCS 1996. That's the Jeffrey Mayer home run. Down the line, he's got another hit. Ricochets to Gonzalez. Torres headed for second. A double. And so his third extra base hit here of Game 3.
Second inning, he took a spinning breaking ball just over the fence. And then in the 5th, this play right here, who knows what the inning could have turned down into with 2 outs, runners on first and second. He makes a great play to end the inning. And he gets a little bit of a double down the line, a hustle double.
Homer and 2 doubles today. Yankees have taken the run right back with a home run from Maybin and threatening for more. Gary Sanchez up there with 1 out. If the Yankees can finish this game off, and if the Astros can finish the series off against Tampa Bay, that is going to be some ALCS.
That's what a lot of people have been anticipating based on the strength of each team. Who's going to budge? But some work to be done to see if that happens.
Runner takes off, no throw. So Torres now at third with 1 gone. And the infield will come in for Rocco Baldelli. There's no small thing. Torres being able to take third base there with one out.
I'm just telling you, the little things and everything that could go right for the Yankees has definitely been in their advantage this series. Taking advantage and putting Minnesota in a lot of pressure situations.
Nope.
And the ironic thing about tonight's game, if Torres doesn't score, it will be the single run per inning that gets it done, where really that has not been the formula for the Yankees. The crooked number is anything other than a 1, and they were able to do that with regularity in the first 2 games.
They scored in 6 different innings over the first 2 games. 5 of those innings were crooked numbers. But tonight, 4 tin soldiers so far. Full count on Sanchez. And again, if you're the Twins, you'd take your chances if you knew you could do that.
Absolutely. Odorizzi did what he had to do. Unfortunately, the offense just hasn't. And that happens.
Wow. Tied him up, fouled it off. Odorizzi. Best of the 3 performances from their starters in this series. Severino a little bit better tonight. 4 shutout innings for him. Hoping to begin a new chapter to his postseason story. Another 3-2 from Romo is corked foul. Infield stays in as another 3-2 comes home. And there will be another. This will be the 9th pitch from Sergio Romo. That is May loosening. The 9th pitch. Ball 4. Yankees at the corners with 1 away. And Rocco Baldelli is going to go to May. Trying to keep it right here. 3-run deficit. 1 more chance against Aroldis Chapman. Hard enough to begin with. Trying to ensure that that deficit doesn't grow any larger. Romo leaves. May comes on. 1 out, 9th inning. Home run to make the Yankees lead 4-1 here in the 9th inning. Trevor May comes on to pitch.
Well, he can rush it up there. Throw his curveball, slider. Right now he's hoping for a strikeout, pop up, somehow to keep this game within striking distance.
Torres at third. He doubled. Sanchez at first after his walk.
He could walk to second. Don't know if that's what the Yankees will choose or not, with the infield in.
Ball 1 on Didi Gregorius, who didn't move. Didi last 5 games against Minnesota, hitting .579 with 15 RBIs. After his RBI single in the 7th. 4 single-run innings for the Yankees tonight. 2nd, 3rd, 7th, and here in the 9th, but looking for more with just 1 out. Here's Mays 1-0. Gregorius rips it through the right side, base hit, and another RBI. Torres in to score. 2 big runs for the Yankees here in the 9th. They lead at 5-1.
Well, that's going to send some people to the aisles. For whatever reason, Didi loves the Twins. And you know, you might just go back to that kind of cue shot hit that he got when he's been struggling, and then the relief he had with the grand slam. You could almost see when he fell back and went finally, and now he feels he may be closer to himself.
Went 0 for 3 in game 1. He had a really bad final month of the season. Not very good season overall, coming back from Tommy John surgery in early June. But since that moment, since that little spinner of a hit that you're talking about, what, 4 of his last 7? 6 RBIs, including the grand slam. 0-2 to Urshela is cut on and missed, 2 out. Top of the order, DJ LeMahieu. Twins have done a nice job against him tonight, 0 for 4. For the Twins, such a magical run through the regular season, 101 wins. Pretty much wire to wire, taken over early on in the season. Withstood a late charge from the Indians, even dropped out of first place for a few hours in August. But when everybody was saying, boy, Twins can't be for real, Twins can't be for real, they proved they were, and brought back the first division title since 2010. But it has all come crashing down quickly here against the Yankees.
It is, but the future looks good, and for my money, I would be positioning Gratterall as a future starter. I know they put him in the bullpen in this short second half to try to add some length and obviously velocity, but if they can develop their starting pitching and get a little bit more depth there, they got the makings of what Cleveland was able to do and kind of hold down the Central for a while and win those divisions and go to the postseason.
Because it's not going to be good next year either, the division.
No.
So. And they got the right man running the show, Rocco Baldelli. What a fantastic hire. And a first year to be proud of. He's still holding out hope that it can continue. 5-1 though, 9th inning with the 2 runs here for the Yankees. 1 and 2 still on the Mayhew.
Well, a lot of pressure going into this series and really on the year for Aaron Boone. You win all those games, you're favored in this series. It looks like at least the relief of this series, which could have been a very difficult series to play against this offense of the Twins.
Now,
Aaron Boone decided he was going to go to the bullpen in every chance he could in this first series. Now, again, if you win short series, you can do that and go on and win a World Series. But we'll see how the next series, if they go on and win this game, the next series will play with the rest they have. That formula will continue for Aaron Boone.
Royals in 15.
Yep.
Strike 3 called to finish off this 9th inning, but the Yankees with a couple of big insurance runs that took a 5-1 lead to the bottom of the 9th. Gonzalez, Crone in the top of the order with Kepler coming up against Aroldis Chapman. Yankees rolled in the Bronx to a 2-0 series advantage. A little bit different story tonight. Not been quite as easy. A little more tension. They've added on late Maben's home run, and then another RBI hit from Didi Gregorius, giving them a 5-1 lead. putting them within 3 outs of a trip to the ALCS in Aaron Boone's second season.
Well, as my good friend Mark Grant used to always say, you got to be within slam range. And that's the grand slam that could tie this game up. But the first thing the Twins are going to have to do is get some runners on. Those runs hurt in the previous inning, but I'm sure they'll fight to the end.
8-9-1 coming up against Chapman. We got the last 2 outs of the 8th inning. Trying to go more than an inning for the first time all year. Strike 1. There it is, jumping out of his hand. The last time Chapman pitched in this ballpark, it was that crazy 14-12 game, and he had a blown save. Walked 3 in an inning of work. But he gets the first 2 outs quickly, and quickly ahead of Gonzalez. 0-2.
He's a much different pitcher than he was a few years ago as far as velocity goes, but he commands the baseball a lot better, and he can spin it.
0-2. Base hit to open the 9th for Marwin Gonzalez, taking it right back where it came from.
Well, that's not the start he wanted with 2 strikes. That's the last couple innings now. Left-handed relievers for the Yankees have given up hits on 0-2 pitches. That one right down the middle. The ball down is easier to hit with velocity than the ball up. Keep the line moving.
With Crone at a pinch hit single his first time. Swings through it, strike 1.
Seen some big swings the last couple innings out of the Twins, but a lot of swings and misses.
Yeah. They're able to strike that balance much of the year, taking big swings, hitting home runs, but not swinging and missing a ton. 1 ball, 1 strike. Crone, a really good first half of the season. Got a bunch of all-star votes. He's one of the finalists to start at first base. Thumb injury has cropped up, though, over the final couple months. Hasn't been the same guy. The 1-1 pitch.
Inside.
Inside, as Gary Cederstrom tells you. 2-1. After Crone, top of the order.
Just got to get Cruz up.
Right.
That means good things are happening. At the bare minimum, 2 guys on, 2 out. Is that right? That is quick math.
A lot of math.
Yeah, I did that quick math.
Yeah, that would do it, though. On a 2-1 pitch. Crone takes ball 3. And again, the last time Aroldis Chapman pitched more than an inning, June of 2018. He's very well rested.
Yes.
Low pressure situation Friday night. Pitched the final inning of that game. That's his only outing over the last week and a half.
Had a little bit of a rest after he came in the 8th because the Yankees were able to score a couple runs, which, you know, for a closer who's used to coming in and getting it done and shaking hands, that has a little bit of getting used to, especially when you're doing it the first time. When you've done it multiple times in a year, you get used to it, that adrenaline rush, then sit down, cool down, then create that same adrenaline rush the next inning.
Back in there with a fastball. Count goes full on Crone. Last pitch, multiple innings in a postseason game. And a clinching game 5 of their come from behind division series win against Cleveland 2 years ago. Leadoff single, Gonzalez. Now Chapman to Crone with a 3-2. It's a walk, and the first 2 have reached for the Twins in the 9th. Well, giving him some reason to believe, reason to wave those homer hankies. Lone run tonight came on an Eddie Rosario home run last inning, and already how huge those 2 runs in the top of this inning begin to look.
Absolutely. Kepler, of course, against right-handed pitchers, primarily a pull hitter. We'll find out where Didi plays with runners on first and second here. What a time for his first hit to come.
Yeah, hitless in 9 tries, does have a walk. This is where things could really get interesting for the Twins. If they can get one more base runner, they get those powerful hitters up there representing the tying run. 2 on, nobody out, 9th inning. Aroldis, Chapman, and Max Kepler with ball 1.
This is where the Twins hitters, you've got to find a way to stay disciplined in the strike zone. You realize that even a 3-run homer here gets you closer, but the best way to create the most tension is to get the tying runs on the bases and bring the tying run, I should say, to home plate.
He chased.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's the one thing that's so difficult, to stay disciplined against a great pitcher who's just walked the previous hitter and threw a breaking ball that was nowhere close.
Gift wrapping, strike 1 to Chapman. The 1-1 pitch. Pops it foul, 1-2.
See, after a pitch like that, you open up more opportunities for a pitcher, and the hitter gets in between. You never want to be in between. Right now he's got a battle with 2 strikes.
Polanco on deck. Then it'll be Cruz. Nobody out, 9th inning. First 2 have reached for the Twins. Down 5-1. The 1-2 pitch. He got him swinging with 3 consecutive sliders. Retires Kepler.
That one was the best one of them all. But 2-0 is a lot different than 1-1. And that's where the at-bat changed. 1-0 breaking ball after walking the previous hitter changed that entire at-bat.
Al Polanco had a good series. Nelson Cruz waiting on deck. These fans just begging for the chance to see Cruz up there. But one swing could tie the game. That is caught by Gregorius. What a play for out number 2 in the 9th inning. His mastery over the Twins knows no bounds.
I mean, all you can do is shake your head. This ball is absolutely tattooed, and Didi right at the end. That was going to split the outfielders, and that's all you need to know right now for the night that it is gone for the Twins. And Didi with a smile. Wow.
So that makes it so Cruz could hit it a mile, and Chapman and the Yankees would still have the lead. So Cruz's goal is to get it past to Eddie Rosario. A night of missed opportunities. And a night of the Yankees taking those opportunities and saying,
Absolutely. I mean, they're a couple defensive plays away from this being a lot more interesting here tonight, but credit their defense and credit their ability to add on in the 9th inning.
Ball and a strike on Cruz. 0 for 3 tonight. Crews keep their hopes alive a little bit longer. Breaking ball ends, and it's 1-2. Chapman's 1-2. We'll do it again. 100 from Aroldis. Doesn't do it quite as often as he once did.
No, but he still has it in his chamber. It's just not something he needs to do all the time now. At 6'4", great athlete, hides the ball well, gets downhill, and the ball jumps on the hitter anyways.
Another 1-2 pitch. The Yankees have swept the Twins, and they're the first team moving on to the championship series in 2019. Complete dominance in these 3 games. 5-1 here in the finale. 23-7. They outscored the Twins in this 3-game sweep.
They did. Game 1 was tight. They broke it open. They broke open Game 2 right away. This game was tight all the way, but they did everything you have to do to move on and advance. A complete year in the regular season. They're looking for a complete year in the postseason. Keep their World Series appearances streak alive in the decades. This is the only decade they haven't had one.
Only decade where they haven't reached a World Series.
Well, fastball, just maybe guessing on a breaking ball. Couldn't pull the trigger.
Shaky for a moment there. Able to find it, and after the first 2 reach, sits the next 3 down in order. And so the Yankees will move on to the American League Championship Series. Will it be Houston? Will it be Tampa Bay? With 3-4 against the Astros during the regular season. They went 12-7 against Tampa Bay. Tomorrow, Justin Verlander will try and pitch the Houston Astros into what has been a much talked about, much anticipated meeting between the Astros and the Yankees. The Rays hoping they have something to say about that over the next couple days.
Absolutely. That man right there, Severino and Torres. And of course, Aaron Boone, so relieved that he'll be able to set a plan moving forward for the next series, whoever they face.
Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. Glaber, congratulations. You got the shirt, you got the hat.
Yeah.
Let's start with the pitching. Twins set a major league record for home runs in a season. You guys held them to 7 runs in 3 games. How were you able to shut them down?
I mean, our pitchers do the adjustment. I mean, like I say, our hitters do the adjustment every time when we go to the home plate, and our pitchers do too. I mean, we just try to control the zone, try to get every play and just make sure take all the out possible.
You guys played great defense tonight, great defense all series. You're playing the 5th on Rosario to end the inning. How difficult was that?
A little. I mean, I'm prepared before. I know Rosario is a really good hitter. He put the ball really well, and I'm just prepared. I moved a little bit to the outfield, and just I got the opportunity to make the out and save a couple runs.
Home run, 2 doubles. Aaron Boone says you love playing in games like this. What is it about them? How do you stay so calm?
I mean, first of all, mentality. I compete every time, doesn't matter who pitching or who is the team. And just try to be confident, try to be focused and do my job and help my team. I mean, just try to go to the home play and get really good at bat and just be simple and do my job.
Leber, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe, back to you.
All right, Kenny. Yeah, so they did it with the offense, they did it with the pitching, but the defense tonight, you dig a little bit deeper, that was a big part of the story.
It really was. I mean, again, the game of inches, and the Twins were inches away from a lot of things happening. This play right here, can't undersell it enough with Judge and the ball that hit off the bat. And then Britton getting over, and what was going to be a tough play for him, he makes it happen. Then right there, Didi, you never know. Right there, that was going to be a run in, possibly second and third. But the Yankees were able to make every single time the Minnesota Twins got close or looked like they were going to make it close, put it away.
So they are moving on as they sweep the Minnesota Twins, the Yankees, to the American League Championship Series with a 5-1 win here in Game 3. Right now, we get you to Los Angeles. More baseball postseason coverage after this 5-1 Yankees win. Take it away, Kevin Burkhardt.